Chapter 802. 802 Chapter 802 Mutation. I wonder if Brother Jian can withstand it. Lu Ming pondered and decided to let Jian Filiu out to absorb the power of the blood meridian again to recover. With a wave of his hand, Jian Filiu's figure appeared, floating in the air. Brother Jian's bloodline won't actively absorb the surrounding bloodline power. After a while, Lu Ming realized that Jian Filiu's spine did not absorb the power of the blood meridian. Let me give him a hand. Lu Ming circulated his essential core and controlled the power of the blood meridian. It surged into Jian Filiu's neck. However, the power of the blood meridian dissipated very quickly and was not absorbed. How could this be? Could it be that Brother Jian is on the verge of death and has lost his consciousness so he can't absorb the power of the bloodline? What should we do? Lu Ming's eyes were filled with anxiety. If he couldn't absorb the power of bloodline, how could he save Jian Filiu? Lu Ming, let me do it. I have a way to let the power of the blood meridian flow into his neck. Although it's a little slow, it's more or less useful. Dandan appeared on Lu Ming's shoulder and said, Really? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Nonsense, the things that this lord knows are not things that you can imagine. When this lord fully recovers, don't cry and ask this lord to be your master. Dandan said proudly. After that, Dandan flew in front of Jian Filiu and waved its claws. Runes entered Jian Filiu's body. Then it waved its claws and the surrounding bloodline power was drawn into Jian Filiu's spine, slowly seeping in. It was really useful. Lu Ming was relieved. What is it? Get lost. Just as Lu Ming was about to absorb the power of the blood meridian in peace, Dandan suddenly let out a loud, angry cry. What's going on? Lu Ming was shocked. Lu Ming, something is invading Jian Filiu's body. I can sense it but I can't stop it. Dandan shouted. What? There's something. What's in the blood pool? Lu Ming was shocked. Haha, my cultivation has been crippled and my bloodline has been exhausted. I'll have to start all over again. I'll break and rebuild. A burst of laughter suddenly came from Jian Filiu's body. It was full of excitement. Lu Ming was shocked and shouted, Who are you? Hurry up and get out of Brother Jian's body. Who am I? It's just a wisp of a remnant soul. It should have sunk into eternal oblivion, but it was awakened by this kid. Jian Feifu's voice came out of his body again, and at the same time, a blood-red light spread out. Remnant soul? You want to take over my body? Lu Ming was shocked. At this moment, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin also arrived at top speed. Lu Ming, what's going on? Xian Yanqing asked. There's a soul fragment here that wants to possess Brother Jian, Lu Ming said. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin were both shocked. Haha, possession? Little guy, you really think too highly of me. I only have a wisp of my soul left and can turn into dust at any time, so how can I possess you? It's just that this little guy is suitable to inherit my legacy. The sound of Jian Feilu's body rang out. How can I believe your words? Lu Ming's eyes were cold. Little fellow, even if you don't believe it, you have to believe it. Ah. As he laughed, Jian Filiu's body was covered with blood light and he suddenly fell down rapidly. Stop. Lu Ming was shocked and chased down. However, the resistance in the blood pool was very strong. Lu Ming's speed was far from Jian Filiu's speed. Lu Ming chased for 2,000 meters but Jian Filiu's body was getting further and further down. Kill, kill? Endless killing intent surged from all directions. Lu Ming's face turned pale. The further down he went, the more intense the murderous aura and killing intent became. Even with Lu Ming's mental fortitude, it was very difficult for him to resist. After a few more breaths, Jian Filiu's body disappeared completely and sank into the endless blood pool. Damn it! Lu Ming roared angrily. Lu Ming, this is not your fault. Xian Yanqing swam over and said. Her face was also a little pale. Fatty also swam over but he didn't say much. Lu Ming, maybe the voice was right. It's just a wisp of a remnant soul that can't possess someone. Maybe it's really looking for a successor? Dandan frowned. You're confident? Lu Ming said. No, I didn't. Dandan shook her head. Lu Ming could not wait to throw Dandan out. Little Qing, Fatty, wait for me here. I'll go down and take a look. With that, Lu Ming continued to head down. The killing intent in the surroundings grew stronger and stronger. The terrifying murderous aura and killing intent had already made Lu Ming's soul tremble. Lu Ming dove for another 1,000 meters. The murderous aura and killing intent here had reached a terrifying level. Not only could it obliterate souls, but it could also obliterate the physical body. Lu Ming felt a tearing pain in his body and his soul. Unfortunately, Jian Filiu was still nowhere to be seen. Damn it. Lu Ming was a little indignant, but he could not continue. If he continued, he would be in danger. Feeling helpless, Lu Ming could only go up. He had never thought that he would end up like this when he came to the blood pool to save Jian Filiu. He could only hope that Jian Filiu was fine. Lu Ming, this might be an opportunity for Jian Filiu. You don't have to blame yourself. Xian Yanqing advised. Don't worry, I'm fine. Let's continue to accumulate the power of the blood meridian. Lu Ming said. The three of them went up and found a more suitable place to absorb the power of the bloodline. Once they got used to it, they would continue down. The further down he went, the more concentrated his bloodline power became. Time passed day by day. The power of the blood meridian accumulated at Lu Ming's spine was getting stronger and stronger. The blood-red light glowed as if something powerful was about to be born. Just half a day after they entered the blood pool, Wang Haoxin also arrived. Wang Haoxin, you've already entered the blood pool and awakened your divine bloodline. The blood pool is useless to you now. What are you doing here? The middle-aged man opened his eyes and looked at Wang Haoxin. Senior, I'm here to ask about a few people. There are three of them. One of them is a fatty and the other is an extremely beautiful woman. Wang Haoxin described the appearance of the three of them. They entered the blood pool half a day ago. If you want to find them, you can only wait for them to come out. After saying that, the middle-aged man closed his eyes. It's really here. A cold killing intent flashed in Wang Haoxin's eyes. He retreated and sat cross-legged on another mountain peak a few miles away from the blood pool, guarding it. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. The time was up and they had to leave. The third servant rushed out of the blood pool and stood beside it. Lu Ming noticed that Xian Yanqing and his spine were emitting shocking fluctuations, as if something was about to break out of the cocoon. However, after a while, the blood-red aura slowly converged and the fluctuations at their spines slowly hid. It was the same for Lu Ming. He also hid at his spine. Lu Ming felt that it was a pity. It seemed that the third bloodline could not be awakened yet. There seemed to be some missing conditions. Chapter 803. 803. The terrifying Wang Haoxin. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin were the same. Their third bloodline didn't awaken. The power of his bloodline had clearly accumulated to a great extent, but it had yet to awaken. Lu Ming glanced at the blood pool and sighed softly. Then he strode out. There was still no news of Jian Filiu. It was as if he had sunk into the endless depths of the blood pool. The three of them walked out of the cave and flew toward the center of 9 dragons. Their next step was to go to another high-level cultivation holy land, the Heaven Vault Relic. It was said that there were many god-grade geniuses cultivating there. The moment the three of them walked out of the cave, a figure soared into the sky tens of miles away, chasing after Lu Ming and the rest. After flying for a few hundred miles, Lu Ming and the other two suddenly stopped in their tracks. This was because they realized that there was a cold killing intent behind them that was spreading toward them. Buzz. A ray of purple light streaked through the air and appeared in front of them. She was a beautiful woman, but her eyes were cold, and the killing intent on her body was cold. The Wang clan. Lu Ming frowned. You are Lu Ming? Wang Haoxin's gaze fell on Lu Ming. Not bad. Lu Ming said. His brows furrowed even more tightly because he could sense an extremely dangerous aura from this lady. Very good. Did you kill my brother Wang Haoyin? Wang Haoxin said coldly. Wang Haoyin is your brother? Lu Ming said. He suddenly remembered that before Wang Haoyin died, he had shouted that his sister would avenge him. Speak, did you kill him? Wang Haoxin shouted, his killing intent even colder. I say, beautiful lady, if we kill him, then we kill him. Your brother deserves to be killed. If you want to avenge him, we'll take you on. Kong Jin shouted. Good, very good. The three of you will be buried with my brother. Terrifying flames rose from Wang Haoxin's body and a powerful aura burst out. Kill? Wang Haoxin was extremely violent. He threw a punch at Lu Ming, and a fiery fist radiance was blasted towards him. A vacuum tunnel was created in the sky. Lu Ming's pupils constricted. This punch gave him a lot of pressure. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming used all his strength and activated the prison-suppressing heaven technique, throwing a punch as well. Boom. A deafening explosion rang out. Lu Ming felt an unparalleled force surging forward. He retreated rapidly and spat out a mouthful of blood. At the same time, there was a terrifying flame burning on his fist, and a burning smell came out. Lu Ming released 4 types of concepts and essential core to resist the burning of the flames with all his might. So strong. Lu Ming was shocked. Given Lu Ming's current combat strength, he was actually injured by the other party in one move. The other party's combat strength was extremely terrifying. The peak of the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm. This was the cultivation that Wang Haoxin had revealed. However, Lu Ming firmly believed that an average 5th level spiritual ocean tier prodigy would not have such powerful combat strength that could completely crush him. Die. Wang Haoxin's eyes were cold as he continued to charge at Lu Ming. Don't even think about it. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin made their moves at the same time. Xian Yanqing pressed his hands together and the sky demon force field exploded. The destructive cutting force rushed towards Wang Haoxin. Kong Jin rushed into the sky demon power field with his axe. His axe seemed to be able to split the sky and he swung it at Wang Haoxin. Be careful. Lu Ming exclaimed in shock. Wang Haoxin didn't even look at it. He threw a punch at the incoming axe. Clang. The fist slammed into the battle axe and a massive sound like that of a bell rang out. Fatty let out a miserable shriek as he was sent flying backward. His fat began to tremble and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. His eyes were filled with shock. Boom. Then Wang Haoxin's body trembled and purple flames spread out. Xian Yanqing's destructive cutting power was directly burned. That's right, even the destructive cutting power was burned clean. Then he threw a punch at Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing's expression changed. He used the demonic hand and formed a beautiful arm that flew towards Wang Haoxin's fist radiance. Boom. The result was the same as before. Xian Yanqing was sent flying back and spat out a mouthful of blood. Although Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin had broken through to the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier, they were still crushed. Let's attack together. This person is a god tier heaven's favorite. Lu Ming came over in a flash and stood side by side with Xian Yanqing. His expression was extremely serious. He thought of a man on the list of top 1,000 talents. Wang Haoxin was ranked 293rd on the list of top 1,000 talents. Since his name was close to Wang Haoyin's, he must be Wang Haoyin's sister. Kill? Wang Haoxin was extremely domineering. His body was covered in purple flames as he stepped forward. Sky Demon Force Field, Destruction Cut. Xian Yanqing shouted and pressed her hand down. The destructive cutting force enveloped Wang Haoxin. At the same time Lu Ming and Kong Jin moved. They charged into the otherworldly demon force field and charged towards Wang Haoxin. The 4-colored will intertwined, and the war dragon true energy completely exploded. His spirit sea was boiling, and a powerful devouring power erupted from his left palm, enveloping Wang Haoxin. His right palm executed the prison-suppressing heavenly art and slashed at Wang Haoxin. Kong Jin roared as his fat body expanded once again. The earth and shattering intense fused and exploded, capable of destroying everything. His battle axe turned into a ray of black light and slashed at Wang Haoxin. At the same time, Xian Yanqing used the demonic lotus throne. A black lotus throne appeared. The petals of the lotus throne were like the sharpest weapons, and they attacked Wang Haoxin. At this moment, the 3 of them launched their strongest attacks at the same time. They didn't dare to be careless in the face of a god-tier genius. Setting Sun's sacred heavenly fist. Wang Haoxin's fists glowed with fire and he punched 3 times in a row. With one punch, Xian Yanqing's lotus platform was shattered and the destructive cutting force field collapsed. Xian Yanqing's body trembled and he retreated rapidly, blood flowing out of his mouth. With another punch, Kong Jin was sent flying. The battle axe in his hand trembled non-stop, especially Fatty's arm. The veins on his arm were protruding and blood was seeping out. Even his palm was deformed. Lu Ming was slightly better, but he was also sent flying 1,000 meters. He spat out a mouthful of blood and felt a sharp pain in his palm. His bones and armor were almost broken. Strong, he was too strong. The 3 of them had joined forces, but they were still instantly injured. Wang Haoxin had almost no weaknesses. Compared to Wang Haoxin, Lu Ming did not have an advantage in any aspect. First of all, his cultivation was 3 levels lower than Wang Haoxin's. Lu Ming had a divine-level bloodline, so did Wang Haoxin. Lu Ming had a demigod-level bloodline martial technique like the prison-suppressing heaven technique, and Wang Haoxin had a demigod-level bloodline martial technique. It was said that the bloodline martial techniques comprehended from the divine bloodline were at least demigod-level martial techniques. Moreover, Wang Haoxin's cultivation technique was also a god-level cultivation technique, the sky-burning flame technique. The sky-burning flames was so hot that it could burn everything. One had to use a lot of true essence to resist its burning power. In terms of intent, Wang Haoxin's intent of heaven and earth had evil levered from the intent of fire. It was extremely powerful and had reached the completion of level 2. Although Lu Ming had comprehended 4 kinds of intent, they were too low level. Even if he had 4 kinds of outburst and was stronger than Wang Haoxin, he would not be much stronger. Lu Ming's only advantage was that he had cultivated the secret skill of the Super Spirit Sea and had rich vital essence. His mastery of the divine level technique was also stronger than Wang Haoxin's. In addition, his intent was slightly stronger. All these could make up for the difference of 1 level of cultivation. However, Wang Haoxin's cultivation was 3 levels higher than Lu Ming's. Therefore, there was still a gap of 2 levels between Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin. As for Xian Yinqing and Kong Jin, they hadn't awakened a divine bloodline, so the gap between them was even greater. Chapter 804. 804 Chapter 804 Both sides suffer. Your combat strength is not bad. No wonder my brother died in your hands. But you don't stand a chance against me. Die. Wang Haoxin's cold voice was filled with killing intent. Boom. The prison-suppressing steel bloodline emerged above Lu Ming's head. His golden chakra emitted a dazzling golden light. Wang Haoxin's pupils shrank and he said coldly, "It turns out that he has awakened a divine bloodline. That's even more deserving of death." As soon as he finished speaking, a ball of purple flame appeared above Wang Haoxin's head. As soon as the purple flame appeared, the surrounding space turned into a black zone. It was a phenomenon that seemed to burn through space. Similarly, a golden chakra glittered around the purple flame. Divine level rank 1 bloodline. In the next moment, the purple flame twisted and turned into a purple firebird, which let out a cry. Wang Haoxin's body turned into a ray of light and rushed into the purple firebird. The bird cried and the purple firebird flapped its wings. It turned into a ray of purple light and pounced towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming merged with his bloodline. The prison-suppressing steel trembled as if it could suppress everything. It flew towards the firebird that Wang Haoxin had transformed into. The purple firebird grabbed the prison-suppressing steel with its claw. Boom. With a deafening sound, a blast of energy shot to the ground, and the 2 mountains instantly exploded and turned into dust. Similarly, a wisp of flame fell and a mountain range was burned to ashes. The space trembled and the prison-suppressing steel was sent flying backward like a meteor. It flew thousands of meters away in an instant. In the process of flying, the prison-suppressing steel turned into Lu Ming's body and he spat out a mouthful of blood. The terrifying thing was that the blood that he spat out immediately burst into flames. Lu Ming's body was invaded by the powerful flames, as if his body was about to turn into ashes. Bang. His retreating body crashed into a mountain which exploded into pieces. Lu Ming fell between the broken rocks. Wang Haoxin was too powerful. Lu Ming could not overcome the gap between their cultivation levels. Lu Ming. Xian Yinqing exclaimed in worry. You should worry about yourself first. The purple firebird spoke in the human language and turned into a ray of light, pouncing at Xian Yinqing. Be careful. He reappeared in front of Xian Yinqing with a huge shield in his hand. Wang Haoxin's claw landed on the shield and it exploded. Kong Jin screamed in pain as his bones cracked and his body was sent flying. Wang Haoxin continued to grab Xian Yinqing. A bronze mirror appeared in front of Xian Yinqing. The bronze mirror was filled with green light. Clang. Wang Haoxin grabbed the mirror with his claw. The mirror trembled violently and wailed as it flew into Xian Yinqing's forehead. Xian Yinqing's body was also sent flying. The firebird cried out, wanting to continue its attack. Bang. Crushed stones flew everywhere as Lu Ming rushed out from the rubble. There was a lightning bolt swimming between his eyebrows. If you're not dead yet, then I'll kill you first. Wang Haoxin said coldly. He flapped his wings and pounced at Lu Ming. Clang. A melodious voice was heard. A thunder cauldron flew out from Lu Ming's brow. It expanded rapidly to the size of a mountain and pressed down on Wang Haoxin. The power of the thunder cauldron was boundless. When Wang Haoxin realized that something was wrong, it was too late to dodge. Boom. The huge lightning cauldron struck the bird of fire. The bird of fire that Wang Haoxin had transformed into was instantly shattered, turning into wisps of purple flames that scattered in all directions. After the lightning cauldron struck, it shrunk rapidly and flew back to Lu Ming's glabella. Lu Ming's face turned pale and he spat out a mouthful of blood. He could not control his body and fell down. Fortunately, Dandan caught him. Buzz. Buzz. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin flew over, but both of them were breathing erratically and were severely injured. Are you all right? Xian Yanqing held onto Lu Ming and asked worriedly. I'm fine. Lu Ming nodded. He had used the lightning cauldron and his vital essence had been extracted. His lifespan had been reduced by 50 years and his body was extremely weak. You guys look? Kong Jin suddenly exclaimed. Lu Ming and the others looked forward and saw that the purple flames that had been scattered by the thunder cauldron were now gathering in the air again. The next moment, the flames turned into Wang Haoxin's body. Wang Haoxin was actually still alive. He was still alive after being struck by the lightning cauldron. However, Wang Haoxin was also severely injured. He coughed out a few mouthfuls of blood. His face was extremely pale and his breathing was extremely weak. Space stepped forward, holding a battle axe, and stared at Wang Haoxin. If he wanted to fight, he could only risk his life. However, Wang Haoxin only looked at them coldly and said in a cold voice, I won't let you off. With that, he turned into a streak of fire and flew into the distance. They retreated. Let's leave this place quickly and find a place to heal. Wang Haoxin won't let this go, Lu Ming said. He could see the murderous intent in Wang Haoxin's eyes. Wang Haoxin must have only retreated temporarily to find a place to heal. Once she recovered, she would definitely come back. Therefore, they had to find a place to recuperate. If Wang Haoxin's injuries were healed but they were not, it would be even more difficult. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin supported Lu Ming and flew into the distance. They landed thousands of miles away. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin were also severely injured. If they continued to fly, they might not be able to last long, so they decided to recuperate here. In a cave, 3 people were sitting cross-legged. Lu Ming circulated the True Combat Strength Manual with all his might. Half a day later, he managed to cultivate a new wisp of essential core. With a wisp of essential core, Lu Ming could start devouring spirit crystals to quickly replenish his essential core. At the same time, Lu Ming also had to circulate his essential core to heal his injured body. Another half a day passed and Lu Ming had only recovered half of his essential core. His injuries had basically stabilized and he was no longer in any danger. However, he had lost 50 years of his lifespan and his life essence was severely depleted. This could not be replenished. At this moment, Lu Ming stopped his recovery. He stood up and walked out of the cave. There was no time left. A day had passed and Wang Haoxin could catch up at any time. He had to be prepared. Walking out of the cave, Lu Ming began to inscribe a large inscription array around him. One by one, the inscriptions were buried into the ground. Lu Ming spent half a day inscribing more than 10 major arrays. Lu Ming. Lu Ming. At this moment, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin both walked out of the cave. Although they had not fully recovered, at least they were stable and had a certain level of combat strength. We will wait for Wang Haoxin here, Lu Ming said. As soon as he finished speaking, he looked at the sky in the distance. A flash of fire streaked across the sky. Wang Haoxin had arrived. He had come so quickly. Buzz. Wang Haoxin appeared above their heads. You have my flame ore on you. If you don't get rid of it, don't even think about escaping from me. Wang Haoxin's killing intent intensified. For a prodigy like her whose cultivation level was far above Lu Ming and the others, it was a great humiliation for her to be able to injure Lu Ming. You're just relying on your higher cultivation. Give me another half a year and I'll definitely kill you. Lu Ming sneered. Chapter 805. 805 Chapter 805 Attracting Enemies Alone. High cultivation is talent. Only those with low cultivation would make such useless remarks. Kill. Wang Haoxin was very decisive. As soon as she finished speaking, she pounced on Lu Ming and the rest. Retreat. Retreat. Lu Ming shouted. Together with Xian Yanqing, the 3 of them retreated quickly. You can't escape. Wang Haoxin descended and strode forward. Is that so? Lu Ming's lips curled into a sneer. He took a step forward and inscriptions appeared on the ground. Many formations emerged. Sword chi, blade energy and vines were all flying towards Wang Haoxin. You set up a great inscription formation here. Wang Haoxin roared and used bloodline fusion. He turned into a purple flame and rampaged in the array. Let's go. This Wang Haoxin is too strong. His bloodline is a natural bloodline. After using bloodline fusion he will be extremely difficult to kill. Even my inscription array will not be able to kill him. Lu Ming muttered. Together with Xian Yanqing, the three of them took to the air and flew into the distance. Lu Ming's Tao of inscription had just broken through to level 6. He had only spent half a day to inscribe the inscription formation. It was not enough to kill Wang Haoxin. Lu Ming knew very well that Wang Haoxin was able to survive the attack of the Thunder Cauldron because of his strong vitality. This was the advantage of a natural-type bloodline. Lu Ming had just lost 50 years of his life. It would be difficult for him to control the Lightning Cauldron and launch a second attack. If he forced it to burst out, he would lose a lot of life essence in a short period of time. It would definitely affect his future martial arts cultivation and even affect his foundation, making it difficult for him to improve further. The only thing they could do now was to trap Wang Haoxin and then retreat. The three of them flew in the direction of 9 dragons. Very quickly they had covered a distance of 100,000 miles. Little Qing, Fatty, you two go to the Qianqiong relic first. Lu Ming suddenly spoke. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin were slightly stunned. Lu Ming, what do you want to do? You want to deal with Wang Haoxin alone? No way. Xian Yanqing saw through Lu Ming's thoughts at one glance and rejected him flatly. That's right. That crazy woman is too strong. If you stay here alone you'll only be courting death. If we want to fight, the three of us will fight together. Kong Jin said. Don't worry, I won't fight him head-on. I'm her target, so I'll draw them away. You guys go to the Sky Relic. We'll meet at the Sea Cloud sect in half a year. Lu Ming said. No, I won't agree. Xian Yanqing shook his head firmly. Listen to me. My inscription formation can't trap Wang Haoxin for long. She will catch up with us soon. If this continues, we will die in her hands. Don't worry, I am 100% sure that I can shake off Wang Haoxin by myself. Lu Ming said. No. Xian Yanqing still shook his head. Fatty. Lu Ming looked at Kong Jin. Are you really 100% confident? Kong Jin asked. 100%, but with the three of us together we don't even have 10%. Little Qing, be obedient. Lu Ming said. No, I want to follow you. Don't try to lie to me. Xian Yanqing said stubbornly. Lu Ming was speechless. He sighed and said, all right then. Fatty, you go first. Xiao Qing and I will distract Wang Haoxin. Lu Ming walked over and held Xian Yanqing's hand. At this moment, Lu Ming suddenly made his move. He stretched out his hand and touched Xian Yanqing's body a few times. Xian Yanqing never expected Lu Ming to suddenly attack her. She was caught off guard. At this moment, her body fell limply to the ground and she fell unconscious. Lu Ming supported Xian Yanqing and said to Kong Jin, Fatty, take little Qing to the Qianqiong relic. This. Kong Jin was dumbfounded. Hurry up. Don't worry, I'll be fine. It's just that this girl's temper is too stubborn, so I can only do this. She'll wake up soon. Lu Ming's eyes were bright as he looked at the fatty. All right then, take care. Kong Jin sighed. This was the only way. He also knew that it would be difficult for the three of them to escape Wang Haoxin's pursuit. Lu Ming might have a way. Lu Ming, if you don't come, I'll see you at the Sea Cloud sect in half a year. Fatty's vital essence rolled up Xian Yanqing and he quickly flew away. Lu Ming landed and sat cross-legged on a mountain peak. He continued to devour spirit crystals to recover his vital essence. The 9-dragon bloodline devoured the spiritual crystals like crazy, and his vital essence was recovering quickly. 60%, 70%, 80%. 2 hours later, Lu Ming's essential core had recovered by 80%. At this moment, a purple light flashed in the distance. Wang Haoxin's figure appeared. At this moment, her breathing was somewhat chaotic and her face was somewhat pale. Clearly, she had paid a price for breaking out of those great formations. It's just you alone. You want to stall me and let the other two escape? That's a good plan. However, I'll kill you soon and then go kill the other two. Wang Haoxin sneered. Oh, if you have the ability, come and kill me. Lu Ming smiled. Wang Haoxin snorted coldly. However, she did not land as she was afraid that Lu Ming would inscribe runes and arrays below. I won't go down, I'll still kill you. Wang Haoxin sneered. He waved his fists and a fiery fist radiance burst out, aiming at Lu Ming. Lu Ming turned around and left. He used the 9 dragons heaven-treading steps and chose a different direction from Xian Yanqing and the rest. It's not that easy to leave. Wang Haoxin turned into a flame and continued to pursue Lu Ming. Wang Haoxin's movement technique was not to be underestimated. He was extremely fast. On the other hand, although Lu Ming was using the 9 dragons heaven-treading steps, he could only take 4 steps in a row. His level was still a little low. Even though he was extremely fast, he was only on par with Wang Haoxin. The two of them, one chasing and one escaping, were far away in the blink of an eye. Before long, the two of them had flown for millions of miles. Wang Haoxin was still following closely behind Lu Ming, not giving up. I say, pretty lady, do you really want to court me so badly? I already have someone I like. Lu Ming shouted as he cast the 9 dragons heaven-treading steps. You're looking for death. Wang Haoxin shouted angrily. Along the way, Lu Ming did not forget to attack her with all kinds of words as he fled. She was so angry that she almost exploded. Her killing intent toward Lu Ming grew stronger. This woman is too damn difficult to deal with. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and continued flying. In front of him, a boundless mountain forest appeared. The trees in this mountain forest were exceptionally tall. Strangely, the trees were all black, even the leaves were black. It was extremely strange. As they neared the forest, they could hear the thunderous roars of demonic beasts that were filled with ferocity. Lu Ming rushed in without any hesitation. Lu Ming's expression changed drastically the moment he rushed in. He felt as if his body had become 10 times heavier. There was a kind of pressure from heaven and earth that pressed down on his body, causing his speed to be greatly reduced. It was at least 10 times slower. But now he could only try his best to move forward. Fortunately, Wang Haoxin's speed was also greatly reduced when he rushed into the forest. Chapter 806. 806 The Immortal's Cave left behind by the 9 Suns Supreme. What is this place? Lu Ming's mind raced and he moved forward at top speed. Roar! Before he could fly far, a black tiger-shaped demonic beast rushed out from below and pounced at him. This tiger-like demonic beast was hairless, but it was covered in black scales. Its eyes were blood red, and it did not seem to have any intelligence. Instead, it was filled with ferocity. The wind howled as this tiger-shaped beast had the battle power of a peak-tier king. Lu Ming took a step forward and a trace of energy burst out. The tiger-shaped demonic beast was directly blasted to the ground, and gravel flew everywhere. Lu Ming's speed did not slow down at all as he moved forward at top speed. Behind him, Wang Haoxin was in hot pursuit. However, in this forest their speed had slowed down a lot. Moreover, there were ferocious demonic beasts pouncing on them from time to time, so they couldn't fly at full speed and their speed was even slower. Moreover, the deeper they flew, the higher the level of the ferocious demonic beasts that appeared. In the beginning, the demonic beasts that appeared were all peak king tier level demonic beasts. Towards the end, demonic beasts that were equivalent to first level or second level spiritual ocean tier appeared. These demonic beasts did not have the slightest bit of intelligence. They were filled with ferocity and would pounce on them the moment they saw them. The two of them, one chasing and one escaping, only flew tens of thousands of miles in half a day. This forest was boundless and they were still in the forest. Wild Beast Forest. Lu Ming, you've come to the Wild Beast Forest? Suddenly, a voice rang out in Lu Ming's mind. This voice was not Dandan's, but the voice of the 9 Suns Supreme. Senior Jianghu. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Ever since he met Lien Tsang in the underground world, the Supreme Master of the 9 Suns had woken up once. After that, he fell into a deep sleep again. He didn't expect that he would wake up now. Senior Jianghu, is this place called the Wild Beast Forest? Lu Ming communicated telepathically with 9 Suns Supreme. You should have arrived in 9 Dragons by now, right? This must be the Wild Beast Forest. I left something here years ago and it resonated with me. That's why I woke up from my deep sleep. The voice of the 9 Suns Supreme rang out in Lu Ming's mind. It seems that you're being hunted down. Being chased by a crazy woman. Lu Ming smiled bitterly. How about this, you can enter the Supreme Shrine and hide for a while. Supreme 9 Suns said. Enter the Supreme Shrine? Lu Ming was stunned. In the past, the 9 Suns Supreme Being had set restrictions in the Supreme Shrine, so that he could not enter the Supreme Shrine when he encountered danger. His purpose was to train him. But now, why did he take the initiative to let him enter the Supreme Shrine? As if sensing Lu Ming's doubts, the Nine Suns Supreme said, "In the past, I only wanted to train you so that you wouldn't rely too much on the Supreme Shrine. If you were in danger, you would hide in the Supreme Shrine. This way, you would lose the courage to move forward and the opportunity to temper yourself through life and death. Your future achievements would be very limited. However, your cultivation is considered not bad now. Along the way, you have experienced many things and have been tempered many times. Your heart of martial arts is stable. Therefore, this restriction no longer has any meaning for you. In the future, you can enter the Supreme Shrine at any time, and others can also enter." Supreme Martial Artist Nine Suns explained. Lu Ming nodded, overjoyed. The Supreme Shrine had no restrictions and he could bring others in. That would be of great use to him. "Lu Ming, don't be happy too soon. The Supreme Shrine was my weapon back then. After you entered the Supreme Shrine, it only disappeared into the void so no one else could see it. However, your current cultivation is not weak. The enemies you will encounter in the future will definitely be stronger. Those in the Spirit Embryo realm can already sense the void. Even if you hide in the Supreme Shrine, you will still be discovered and blasted out. As for the Spiritual God realm, one can tear space at will. Therefore, if one were to encounter an expert of that level and hide in the Supreme Divine Palace, one would only be like a turtle in a jar, falling into a passive position. Thus, one's own strength is the way to rule. Relying on external objects will not last long. Supreme Martial Artist Jianghu warned him seriously. "Junior understands?" Lu Ming nodded. However, Lu Ming had no intention of hiding in the Supreme Shrine. It had only been half a day. If he hid in the Supreme Shrine now, Wang Haoxian might go after Xian Yinqing and Kong Jin in a fit of anger if he couldn't find him. Lu Ming planned to continue delaying Wang Haoxian. After a few days, Xian Yinqing and Kong Jin would have refined all the flame aura that Wang Haoxian had left on them. After they entered the Vault of Heaven, it would be difficult for Wang Haoxian to find them. It would be almost impossible. In that case, Lu Ming would be at ease. Therefore, Lu Ming did not enter the Supreme Shrine. Instead, he dragged Wang Haoxian and continued flying in the wild beast forest. As they flew, Lu Ming conversed with the Nine Suns Supreme. "Senior Jiang, why is this forest so strange? Not only are the demonic beasts under great pressure here, but even the demonic beasts have lost their intelligence and become extremely fierce." Lu Ming asked, very curious. Normal demonic beasts could speak when they were in the king's realm, and they could take human form when they were in the spiritual ocean realm. However, Lu Ming had encountered quite a number of spiritual ocean-tier demonic beasts along the way. Not a single one of them had spoken, let alone transformed. There are many wondrous places in the world. Wild Beast Forest is one of them. Legend has it that in the distant past, the blood of an omnipotent expert was scattered here, covering a radius of 1,000,000 miles. The blood contains the killing intent, resentment of the most powerful masters. When the blood splatters, this place becomes a land of death. The earth's structure changes and it is filled with a mysterious field energy. Any living creature that enters will be suppressed by this field energy, and their speed will slow down. At the same time, the demon beasts here will be affected by the killing intent, resentment in the blood. They will become extremely fierce and lose their spiritual intelligence. They will become crazy demon beasts that only know how to kill, and that's why it's called the Crazy Beast Forest. Supreme Martial Artist Nine Suns explained. Lu Ming understood, but he was extremely shocked. This place was actually caused by the blood of an omnipotent expert. Blood splattered and covered an area of 1,000,000 miles, changing the structure of the earth. For countless years to come, the demonic beasts would be affected by the killing intent and turn into wild beasts. What kind of power and realm was that? A martial royal realm expert could never do that. It was not that terrifying, but it was definitely an existence that surpassed the martial royal realm. But now, was there still such a powerful existence in the world? In the divine wilderness continent, martial emperors were revered. An emperor was synonymous with invincibility, and they were the strongest experts. Perhaps, there were existences that surpassed the martial emperor realm in the regions outside the divine wilderness continent. He thought of Qiuyu. It was very likely that Qiuyu had been taken away by experts outside of the divine wilderness continent. Lu Ming, I built a temporary cave abode in the wild beast forest back then. I left many things inside. They should be of great help to you. The Supreme of Nine Suns spoke again, making Lu Ming's heart skip a beat. Who was the Supreme Master of the Nine Suns? He was a supreme being, the strongest powerhouse below the martial emperor realm, and had stepped into the peak of the spiritual god realm. How amazing would the things he had left behind be? Lu Ming could not wait any longer. Chapter 807. 807 Soul Condensing Fruit Tree. Everyone had a plan for their own escape, and Nine Suns Paragon was no exception. Before his accident, he had left behind some hidden immortals' caves in some places. There was one in the wild beast forest, and no one knew about this secret cave abode except for the Nine Suns Supreme Master himself. Just now, he had woken up from his deep sleep because he was close to the cave dwelling of the Nine Suns Supreme. The Nine Suns Cosmos Supremacy told Lu Ming the approximate location. "I'll go in 2 days. Let's delay this Wang Haoxin for a few days." Lu Ming pondered in his heart. For the next 3 days, Lu Ming did not venture deep into the wild beast forest. Instead, he led Wang Haoxin in circles on the outskirts of the forest. They passed the message for 3 days. Their speed was on par. Lu Ming could not shake off Wang Haoxin, and Wang Haoxin could not catch up to Lu Ming. "I don't believe that your true essence is as abundant as mine," Wang Haoxin shrieked, his eyes blazing with anger. It had been 3 days. She had been chasing Lu Ming for 3 days. Her killing intent towards Lu Ming had not lessened. Instead, it had become stronger. "I can almost shake her off." Lu Ming's heart stirred. It had been almost 4 days. Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin should have refined the flame aura left behind by Wang Haoxin and entered the Tianxiong relic. Now, Lu Ming planned to leave Wang Haoxin behind and head to the cave abode left behind by the Nine Suns Supreme. Buzz. Lu Ming took a few steps forward and flew forward at top speed. A lake appeared in front of him and he rushed into the lake. Then, with a thought, he entered the Supreme Shrine. It's not that easy to escape from the bottom of the lake. In the next moment, Wang Haoxin caught up with him. With a palm strike, scorching flames spread out and the entire lake water evaporated in an instant. Mist filled the air and only the dry bottom of the lake was left. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had disappeared without a trace. Damn it, could it be that he left through the underground? Don't even think about it. Wang Haoxin roared and punched. The ground cracked and rocks and dirt flew, but Lu Ming was nowhere to be seen. Wang Haoxin went crazy and started to search the surroundings. Lu Ming could not be bothered to care about all of this. In the Supreme Shrine, he began to devour spiritual crystals to recover. 2 days later, Lu Ming's cultivation had fully recovered and he was back at his peak. At this moment he left the Supreme Shrine. There was no trace of Wang Haoxin. Lu Ming was heading in the direction that the Nine Suns Supreme had pointed out. What? After flying for thousands of miles, Lu Ming suddenly rushed into the forest below. With a wave of his hands, an inscription array that concealed his aura appeared on his body, completely concealing his aura. Not long after, they saw Wang Haoxin flying past them with a gloomy face. This woman really wouldn't stop until she was dead. After that, Lu Ming did not fly in the sky. Instead, he shuttled through the forest. Since he had an inscription formation that concealed his aura, he could easily avoid the monstrous beasts. Lu Ming's speed was still very fast. An hour later, Lu Ming had run for thousands of miles and appeared at the bottom of a huge cliff. "Senior Jiang, the entrance to the cave you mentioned is on the cliff? But how come I didn't notice it?" Lu Ming asked. "There is a mark on the cliff, so the entrance is there." The voice of the Nine Suns Supreme Master rang out. Lu Ming walked over and indeed he found a mark on a cliff. Lu Ming observed it carefully and pushed it with his hand. It did not move at all. It did not seem like there was an entrance. Similarly, Lu Ming did not find any traces of inscriptions. "Lu Ming, I've set up a formation that alternated between illusion and reality here. This formation is extremely mysterious. If you think of this place as real, it's real. If you think of it as virtual, then this cliff doesn't exist and it's virtual. You'll naturally enter the cave abode with one step." Supreme Nine Suns said. "It's actually a formation that alternated between illusion and reality." Lu Ming was shocked. This array was very advanced. Even Lu Ming did not know how to use it. Setting up such a formation to protect the cave abode could be said to be foolproof. For example, if you set up a formation at the entrance of a cave, this formation would allow the cave to become one with the surrounding environment and look exactly the same. Ordinary people would only think that it was a mountain when they saw it. Even if they walked over, they would feel that it was a mountain. However, if you thought that this place was a cave, then you could walk over and enter the cave. It was extremely mysterious. Therefore, even if someone had come here over the years, they would not stare at a cliff and think that it was an immortal's cave. This was the entrance unless it was someone who knew about it. Moreover, the inscription formation that could see the real and the fake could perfectly integrate with the surrounding environment, making it difficult to sense the existence of inscriptions. Lu Ming smiled and strode towards the cliff. Just as he was about to crash into the cliff, he saw that the cliff was empty. Lu Ming's body had disappeared from the cliff. Lu Ming stepped in and found himself in a huge cave abode. The cave abode was rather large, but it was very simple and crude. There was only a stone bed, a stone table and a few stone stools. On the table was a jade box, and in the jade box were a few storage rings. In the innermost part of the cave there were 2 small trees. The small trees were as tall as a person, and their leaves were dark green, emitting a strange aura. On the small tree there were a few fruits. The soul-consolidating tree has really borne fruit. The figure of the 9 Suns Supreme Master appeared. He looked at the 2 small trees and revealed a happy expression. Soul-concentrating tree? Lu Ming had some doubts. The soul-consolidating tree and the soul-consolidating fruit are very helpful to the spirit and soul. I found them by accident and planted them here. I didn't expect them to bear fruit. With these 2 soul-consolidating trees and soul-consolidating fruits, I can recover a portion of my soul power. Supreme Martial Artist 9 Suns explained. Congratulations, Senior. Lu Ming was overjoyed as well. He was also looking forward to the recovery of the 9 Suns Supreme. Lu Ming, I'll be recuperating under the soul-consolidating tree for a while. I think it'll take some time. There are some things I left here in those storage rings. Although there aren't any rare treasures, they should be useful to you. As soon as he finished speaking, he flew toward the 2 soul-condensing fruit trees, plucked one of the fruits and sat down cross-legged. Lu Ming sized it up and walked to the stone table. He picked up one of the storage rings and immersed his mind into it. The next moment, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. This storage ring was filled with spirit weapons and all sorts of blacksmithing materials. Among them, most of the spiritual weapons were at the 6th level. There were also 7th level and even 8th level spiritual weapons. Shocking, it was too shocking. It should be known that only those at the spirit embryo realm could unleash the full power of a 7th level spiritual weapon. As for an 8th level spiritual weapon, it could only be unleashed by an existence at the spiritual god realm. And in this storage ring, not only did he have them, he had quite a few of them. And those materials for refining weapons were also rare materials. If these spirit weapons and blacksmithing materials were to be taken out, their value would be immeasurable. Lu Ming kept it happily. Zhang Xian turned his attention to the 2nd storage ring. Chapter 808. 808 Scamming Wang Haoxian. The second one was filled with elixirs, spiritual herbs, and spiritual herbs of very high levels. There were level 6, level 7, and even level 8. They were all packed in jade boxes and sealed with arrays so that their spirituality would not be lost. Lu Ming almost drooled. Zhang Xian quickly turned his attention to the 3rd storage ring. There were a total of 3 storage rings here. The 3rd storage ring contained some miscellaneous items. Lu Ming's gaze was immediately attracted by the mountain-like pile of raw gemstones. Yes, raw stones were piled up like a mountain. No one knew how many pieces there were. And NBSP, also on the other side were many large metal boxes. When he opened them, he saw that they were all intent crystals. There were all sorts of profound meaning crystals, and they were all middle-grade ones. There were more than 100,000 pieces. More than 100,000 middle-grade intent crystals. What kind of concept was this? Lu Ming's heart was thumping. I'm rich, I'm really rich. As expected of the 9 Suns Cosmos Supremacy. The 9 Suns Supremacy had said that there were no treasures, but in Lu Ming's eyes they were all treasures. How long would these resources be enough for Lu Ming? Senior Jianghu, I will definitely make good use of these resources. Lu Ming thought to himself. Then he focused his mind on the storage ring that was filled with elixirs and spirit herbs and carefully examined it. This is the innate original liquid. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He discovered that the 2 huge jade bottles contained the primordial origin liquid. Moreover, they were both high-grade primordial origin liquid. Each bottle was a full 50 kilograms. In total, there were 200 caddies of primordial origin liquid, which was the supreme spiritual liquid for cultivating the body. This is the mother of the water spirit spring. Lu Ming recognized a treasure in the other jade bottle. The mother of the water spirit spring was a type of spirit liquid. It was even more precious than the upper-grade innate original liquid. Haha, the mother of the water spirit spring is perfect for cultivating the path understanding ancient tree. With a thought, the path understanding ancient tree appeared on the ground. Lu Ming took out the mother of the water spirit spring and poured the entire bottle of it on the Shenhuang silicoid soil. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. With this bottle of mother of water spirit spring, would the path understanding ancient tree be able to grow? Then he put the path understanding ancient tree into the supreme shrine and started to look at it in his storage ring. Green lotus fruit, snake lump flower, darkeen grass. Lu Ming looked at the spiritual herbs one by one. Suddenly his eyes lit up. With a wave of his hand, a jade box appeared in his hand. It's actually darkeen grass. Lu Ming's lips curled into a cold smile. He thought of a medicine called darkeen powder. He had learned about this medicine when he was refining the seven-colored Taoist's mental energy fire. The darkeen powder was specifically used to deal with women. As long as a woman breathed in a little, she would be powerless and unable to circulate her true yuan, allowing her to be slaughtered. The main ingredient of the darkeen powder was the darkeen grass. Initially, Lu Ming had no interest in such a herb, but when he saw the darkeen grass, he thought of Wang Haoxian. Didn't Wang Haoxian want to kill him? Then he would let her have a taste of the darkeen grass. Immediately, Lu Ming selected a few supplementary ingredients and began to refine the darkeen powder. 2 hours later, Lu Ming had successfully refined the darkeen powder. Wang Haoxian, I hope you haven't left yet. A cold glint flashed across Lu Ming's eyes. He left the cave abode and appeared outside the cliff. Then he rose into the air. Now he was going to take the initiative to look for Wang Haoxian. Lu Ming flew at high speed in the sky and circled the area. More than an hour later, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. In front of him, a flash of fire was approaching at high speed. It was Wang Haoxian. Lu Ming, I finally found you. Wang Haoxian shrieked, his face twisted. She was clearly beautiful, but at this moment there was no sense of beauty. Wang Haoxian, you've been chasing me for a few days and you miss me so much? Why don't you forget about your brother and become my concubine? Lu Ming chuckled, deliberately provoking Wang Haoxian. You're looking for death. Wang Haoxian shouted angrily and rushed over at top speed. She did not think much about why Lu Ming did not run away. She was furious. I, Lu Ming, am a heaven-sent talent. I won't let you down if you become my concubine. Lu Ming continued to provoke Wang Haoxian. As expected, Wang Haoxian was even more furious. He pounced on Lu Ming and threw a punch at him. The flames were burning and it was terrifying. Lu Ming activated the prison-suppressing heavenly art and struck out with his palm. In his palm, a wisp of darkeen powder spread towards Wang Haoxian. Bang! The fist and palm collided. Lu Ming's body trembled and he retreated rapidly. He felt his qi and blood churning and he almost vomited blood. I hope it's useful. Lu Ming thought in his heart. Wang Haoxian was surrounded by raging flames that could burn everything. However, the darkeen powder contained the qi of the netherworld and was extremely cold. It could possibly resist the burning of flames. Die. After Wang Haoxian pushed Lu Ming back with one punch, he threw another punch. Lu Ming swung his palm again, and there was still a trace of darkeen powder in his palm. Wang Haoxian was so angry that he didn't notice it at all. Just like that, Lu Ming and Wang Haoxian exchanged 5 moves in a row. Lu Ming retreated 5,000 meters and spat out a mouthful of blood. This won't do. The darkeen powder will probably take a while before it takes effect. Let's go. Lu Ming turned and ran. You want to run? Dream on. Wang Haoxian gave chase. The chase continued for a few thousand miles. Wang Haoxian, who was in pursuit, suddenly had a change in expression. His body trembled and he almost fell to the ground. It's working. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. He stopped and turned around to look at Wang Haoxian with a cold smile. What did you do to me? Wang Haoxian glared at Lu Ming. Nothing much. It's just a little bit of poison. Right now, do you feel like your body is soft and you can't use your true qi? Lu Ming sneered. You. Despicable. Wang Haoxian's face turned pale. Despicable? Can I compare to your Wang clan in terms of despicability? Now you're the one who's going to die. Lu Ming stepped forward and charged at Wang Haoxian. Wang Haoxian gritted his teeth and turned to run. Lu Ming gave chase. However, Wang Haoxian had been hit by the darkeen powder, and it became more and more difficult for her to mobilize her vital essence. Her speed rapidly decreased and slowly she could not even fly. She landed on the ground, trembling all over, and almost fell to the ground. Boom. Lu Ming landed as well. He took a step forward and threw a palm at Wang Haoxian. At this point, Wang Haoxian could no longer use his true energy. He could only use his will to resist. However, there was no vital essence, only the will, so the power was limited. Lu Ming destroyed Wang Haoxian's will with one palm. Wang Haoxian grunted and flew far away. He fell to the ground and spat out blood, his face pale. Kill? Lu Ming took a step forward, his killing intent surging. Wang Haoxian closed his eyes in despair. She did not expect that her revenge for Wang Haoyan would not only fail to kill Lu Ming, but she would also lose her life. However, she waited for a while and did not feel Lu Ming's palm landing on her. She could not help but open her eyes and saw Lu Ming sizing her up carefully, an evil glint flashing in his eyes from time to time. In her eyes, Lu Ming was shining with this kind of light. Chapter 809. 809 Not interested. Wang Haoxian's heart turned cold. Lu Ming, if you want to kill me, just kill me. If you want to humiliate me, I won't let you off even if I become a ghost. Wang Haoxian screamed. Humiliate you? You're thinking too much. Lu Ming's expression was cold. The reason he didn't kill them was that he had thought of a better way. He thought of an inscription formation that he learned from Lian Tsang, the god-splitting formation. This kind of inscription formation was extremely powerful. If it was engraved in a person's mind, it could penetrate into the soul. Life and death were completely controlled by the person who engraved the formation. This Wang Haoxian was extremely powerful in both talent and combat. If he could control him, he would be of great use. He would be able to obtain a lot of useful information. However, to inscribe such a formation, the opponent had to be completely defenseless. Wang Haoxian could not use his vital essence and was weak, which was the perfect time to do it. Whoosh, whoosh. Lu Ming pointed his finger at Wang Haoxian, sealing her completely. Not only could she not use her vital essence, but she could not even use her intent and mental energy fire. Then Lu Ming took out a drop of Wang Haoxian's blood. Blue spiritual fire spread out from his finger and he began to inscribe runes in the void. What do you want to do? Wang Haoxian said in a trembling voice. He was really panicking. However, Lu Ming could not be bothered with her. He concentrated on inscribing. The inscriptions continued to enter Wang Haoxian's forehead. Wang Haoxian felt that something new had appeared in his mind and his face turned pale. The soul-splitting array was very complicated. It contained 18,000 inscriptions. Lu Ming spent an hour inscribing all of them. Oh. Lu Ming often exhaled. Tell me, what did you do to me? Wang Haoxian shouted. It's just an array. This array is called the soul-splitting array. It can penetrate your soul and contain my mental energy fire. As long as I want to, the soul-splitting array can tear your soul apart and turn you into an idiot. Lu Ming chuckled. Wang Haoxian's face turned even paler. He screamed, You're despicable. You're shameless. You'll die a horrible death. Lu Ming smiled faintly. He pointed his finger at Wang Haoxian like the wind and undid her seal. He then sat cross-legged to the side and quietly waited. He was waiting for Wang Haoxian to recover his true energy. An hour passed by in the blink of an eye. Boom. Wang Haoxian's body was engulfed in terrifying flames. Her killing intent was as cold as ice. Lu Ming, it's your biggest mistake not to kill me. Now die. Wang Haoxian shouted angrily. Oh really? Have you forgotten that I've engraved the soul-splitting array in your mind? Lu Ming sneered. No matter what you've inscribed, everything will be so levered after I kill you. Wang Haoxian moved and charged toward Lu Ming. But the next moment, Wang Haoxian's body froze and his face showed a painful expression. Ah! Wang Haoxian screamed in pain. She held her head and rolled on the ground. Stop, stop! Wang Haoxian screamed in pain. Lu Ming smiled faintly and stopped controlling the god-splitting formation. Wang Haoxian stopped and knelt on the ground, gasping for breath. In just a short while she was drenched in cold sweat. Her face was pale. She looked at Lu Ming in fear and shouted, You're despicable. You're shameless. Kill me if you have the guts. Kill you? Why would I kill you? You're very useful to me when you're alive. Lu Ming chuckled. And I'm telling you, the soul-splitting array was engraved by my mental energy fire, and it's completely at my will. As long as I want it to happen, it will take effect. Moreover, Don't even think about asking the elders of your Wang family to undo it for you. Apart from me, no one can undo it. If you try to forcefully undo it, the soul-splitting array will tear your soul apart and turn you into an idiot. Lu Ming's words made Wang Haoxian's face even paler. What do you want? Wang Haoxian said in despair. It's very simple. As long as you follow me from now on and be my maidservant, it'll be fine. Lu Ming said indifferently. What? To be your servant? You're dreaming. I'd rather die than be your maid. Wang Haoxian screamed. What was her status? The Wang family's proud daughter, a famous beauty in 9 dragons. She was both beautiful and talented, and countless people surrounded her. She was a god-tier heaven's favorite who was revered by many. As long as she continued down this path, she would have a great chance of reaching the spiritual god realm in the future. Now Lu Ming actually asked her to be his maidservant. Maidservant? How could she possibly agree and accept it? She would rather die than submit. You'd better agree. As long as I want to, the god-splitting array will turn you into an idiot. Believe it or not, I'll sell you after I turn you into an idiot. TSK, it'll be interesting if the god-tier genius, Wang Haoxian, is sold. Lu Ming sneered. Wang Haoxian's face was deathly pale and her body trembled violently. If that was the case, it would be a great humiliation to her. It would be 10 times, no, 100 times worse than killing her. She looked at Lu Ming with fear and a strong murderous intent. She wanted to kill Lu Ming in one move, but she did not dare to. No matter how fast she acted, she could not be as quick as Lu Ming. She was really afraid that Lu Ming would turn her into an idiot and sell her. I forgot to tell you something. The soul-splitting array is closely related to me. As long as I die, the soul-splitting array will automatically explode. So, don't even think about killing me. In the future you must protect me. Do you understand? Lu Ming said. Wang Haoxian was even more desperate. What do you want me to do? I'm telling you, if you want to do something to me, or do something I can't do, I'd rather die than obey, I'd rather kill myself. Wang Haoxian gritted his teeth and agreed. Lu Ming smiled and strode forward. He reached out his hand and gently lifted Wang Haoxian's chin. Wang Haoxian trembled and his eyes flashed with killing intent. She was really humiliated. The anger in her heart was about to burn her whole body. She was too aggrieved. Lu Ming was the enemy who killed her brother. She was here to kill Lu Ming for revenge. However, in the end, not only did she fail to kill Lu Ming, but she also ended up in Lu Ming's hands. She even had to become Lu Ming's maidservant and listen to his orders. Not only that, but she also had to protect him. Was there anything more depressing than this in the world? Don't worry, I'm not interested in you. Lu Ming smiled faintly and took a few steps back. His casual words made Wang Haoxian's body tremble with anger. To be honest, Wang Haoxian was very beautiful. He was a stunning beauty with a graceful figure and many suitors. Now that Lu Ming said that he was not interested, it was a blow to Wang Haoxian. What I want you to do is very simple. After this, you will accompany me in this wild beast forest to hunt demonic beasts and obtain their blood essence. In the future, you will have to come here every 7 days to hand over 70% of the demonic beast blood essence of the 5th level spiritual ocean realm and above. For the time being, this is all you have to do. Lu Ming said. Chapter 810. 810. A sincere attitude. Since he had a free helper, he naturally had to make full use of it. In the wild beast forest, there were countless powerful demonic beasts. If he were to hunt them and devour their blood essence by himself, the speed would be too slow. With Wang Haoxian, he could put more energy into cultivation. Alright, I promise you. Wang Haoxian said through gritted teeth. This request was not difficult and she could accept it. She was just afraid that Lu Ming would make some unreasonable requests. In 7 days she had to hand over 7 portions of demonic beast blood essence at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm and above. On average, she only had to kill 1 5th level spiritual ocean realm demonic beast a day. This wasn't difficult for her. We'll meet here in 7 days. If you don't show up, I'll take it as you've betrayed me and I'll activate the soul-splitting formation. Lu Ming said coldly. With that, his figure flashed and he left the place. Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Wang Haoxian's eyes were filled with murderous intent. His body trembled violently and his beautiful face was twisted. She hated it, she was angry. After a while, she took a deep breath and calmed herself down. She planned to listen to Lu Ming's instructions for the time being. In the future she would find an opportunity to get the method to break the array from Lu Ming and then kill him. But he had to endure the humiliation first. Thinking of this, she completely calmed down. With a flash, she also left the place to hunt demonic beasts. Of course, Lu Ming did not know what Wang Haoxin was thinking. Even if he did, he would not care. He was confident that he would surpass Wang Haoxin in terms of combat power after some time. When he returned to Nine Sun Supreme's cave abode, he was still sitting cross-legged under the soul-condensing tree. It seemed that he would need some time. Lu Ming took out a pile of raw gemstones and sat cross-legged. His 9-dragon bloodline appeared and he devoured 100 raw gemstones in one go. After that, he would refine it with all his might and increase his true essence. After refining 100 pieces, another 100 pieces were refined. Boom, boom, boom. In the spirit sea, the waves roared and the rivers and seas churned. When Lu Ming had refined 800 raw gemstones, the area of his spirit sea had doubled once again. Lu Ming's cultivation had entered the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean realm. After that, he continued to refine the raw gemstones. Another 4 days passed, and Lu Ming's cultivation rose to the peak 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. At the peak of the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean realm, Lu Ming had reached a bottleneck. If he wanted to continue improving, he had to cultivate the earth and thunder concepts to the 2nd level small completion before he could continue to improve. 7 days have passed. Let's go and see if Wang Haoxin has obtained the blood essence of the demonic beast. Lu Ming had an idea. He left the cave abode and went to the place where he had agreed to meet Wang Haoxin. From a distance they could see Wang Haoxin sitting cross-legged, his body covered in a layer of fire, like a goddess of fire. To be honest, Wang Haoxin, who was cultivating with his eyes closed and no killing intent around him, was still very beautiful. The flames around him danced, giving off a kind of illusionary feeling. Wang Haoxin opened his eyes when Lu Ming arrived. "Have you obtained the demonic beast blood essence?" Lu Ming asked with a smile. "Here you go." With a wave of Wang Haoxin's hand, 7 jade bottles flew towards Lu Ming. Lu Ming picked up one of the bottles and saw 9 drops of blood essence that looked like blood-red pearls. They were demonic beast blood essence. The blood essence of demonic beasts at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm and above, if taken out and sealed in a jade bottle, could be preserved for a month without dissipating. The more powerful an existence was, the stronger the energy and activity of the blood essence, and the longer it could be preserved. Wang Haoxin turned and left after throwing the blood essence to Lu Ming. "Stop!" Lu Ming shouted coldly. Wang Haoxin shuddered. He turned around and looked at Lu Ming. "What do you want now? Don't forget your identity. You're my servant now." Is this how a servant should treat her master? Lu Ming narrowed his eyes and smiled. Wang Haoxin gritted his teeth and glared at Lu Ming with hatred. "What do you want?" Wang Haoxin said through gritted teeth. "A servant girl should have the attitude of a servant girl. Otherwise I'll make you warm my bed." The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled into an evil smile. "Don't even think about it." Wang Haoxin's face was red with anger. He looked at her with his big eyes and finally gave in. He bowed slightly and said through gritted teeth, "Young Master Lu Ming? Young Master, this servant will take her leave." It seemed to take all of Wang Haoxin's strength to say this. She panted slightly. "Besides, you were not sincere enough. If you gnash your teeth like this, people who don't know you will think that you are going to eat me. They will think that there is some deep hatred between us. Speak properly and remember your attitude must be sincere. You must treat me as a young master from the bottom of your heart, a young master that you respect, understand?" Lu Ming started to give instructions. Wang Haoxin almost vomited blood. She was roaring in her heart. There was already a deep hatred between the two of us, all right? And sincere? Oh. If she was not controlled by the array, she would have chopped Lu Ming into 8 pieces. How could she be so sincere? "Young Master Lu Ming, I'll take my leave." Wang Haoxin took a deep breath and spoke. His voice was softer than before. "Forget it, it's just SOSO. You should practice more in the future. Go." Lu Ming waved his hands in dissatisfaction. This made Wang Haoxin's body fluctuate again. She kept telling herself to endure. She must endure. Only by enduring would she have a chance to seek revenge on Lu Ming. After Wang Haoxin left, Lu Ming returned to his cave abode. Then he opened the 7 jade bottles one by one. Of the 7 portions of blood essence, 5 were at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and 2 were at the 6th level. The bloodline of the 9 dragons opened its mouth and sucked, swallowing all 70% of the blood essence and starting to refine it. Now, Lu Ming had used all the power of blood essence to improve his 9-dragon bloodline. He would first upgrade his 9-dragon bloodline to the divine level. Once the 9-dragon bloodline upgraded to the divine level, he would have 2 divine level bloodlines, and his combat power would be even stronger. In less than a day, 70% of his blood essence had been refined. Clearly, this blood essence was still not enough to advance the 9-dragon bloodline to the divine bloodline. Senior Jianghu will need some time to recover here. Little Qing and Fatty are not in danger now, so it's best for them to cultivate here. I'll just cultivate here. Lu Ming sat cross-legged on the ground, thinking about the direction of his cultivation. The 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps isn't far from the 5th step. There's also the 3 absolutes of the dragon god. I'll have to find time to integrate the earth will into it. This way I'll have another way to fight my enemies. Of course, the most important thing is the comprehension of the will. Also, I can't neglect the Tao of inscription. At the thought of this, Lu Ming's fingers glowed and the infinite dragon spear appeared in his hands. Senior Jianghu, you have a lot of precious metals here. You can use them to refine the infinite dragon spear. With a thought, a piece of metal appeared in his hand. This piece of metal was called Star Moon Iron. On it, there were patterns that looked like stars. It was very beautiful. A blue mental energy fire appeared in Lu Ming's hands. It wrapped around the Star Moon Iron and started burning. Not long after, the Star Moon Iron softened and finally turned into a pool of liquid that wrapped around the infinite dragon spear. Lu Ming waved his fingers and runes bloomed in the air, flying toward the infinite dragon spear. As the inscriptions were carved, the Star Moon Iron was slowly integrated into the infinite dragon spear. Chapter 811. 811 9-Dragon Bloodline promoted to divine rank. The infinite dragon spear contained an infinite amount of black gold. It could continuously fuse with other precious metals to increase the grade of the infinite dragon spear. Although there were even higher-grade spiritual weapons in the storage ring of the 9 Suns Supreme Master, such as 7th grade and even 8th grade spiritual weapons, there was no lack of spear-type spiritual weapons. However, even though the quality of those spirit weapons was high, they had no potential and their grades were fixed. As for the infinite dragon spear, it was Lu Ming's natal spiritual weapon and it had unlimited potential. Naturally, Lu Ming would choose to use it. 3 hours later, the infinite dragon spear buzzed and glowed brightly. Level 6, top quality. Lu Ming revealed a smile on his face. After integrating a piece of precious Star Moon Iron and Lu Ming's inscription, the infinite dragon spear was refined again. It was upgraded to a level 6 premium item. In the sky, there seemed to be a force of inscription that fell from the sky and fused into Lu Ming's mental energy fire, causing it to slowly improve. This was the reward given to him by the law of inscription after he had forged a top-grade 6th level spiritual weapon. Lu Ming was not satisfied with the level 6 premium product. He took out another piece of precious metal and started to refine it. A day later, the infinite dragon spear trembled again and reached the peerless level 6. With Lu Ming's current level of inscription and the good materials, it was not difficult for him to refine a level 6 masterpiece. Next, Lu Ming had to refine the infinite dragon spear to level 7. This would be more difficult. He took out a few pieces of precious metals in succession. The blue mental energy fire spread out and Lu Ming began to refine. This time it took a full 3 days. Buzz. The infinite dragon spear trembled continuously as its spear radiance shot into the sky. Lu Ming quickly waved his hand and entered the supreme shrine with the infinite dragon spear to avoid disturbing the 9 Suns Supreme. The infinite dragon spear glowed with a dazzling light. The spear's radiance soared into the sky and a powerful aura spread out. Lever 7, upper lever 7. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he was overjoyed. It was a success. Lu Ming had upgraded the infinite dragon spear to upper 7th level. It was a huge leap and he had forged a 7th level spiritual weapon. If others were to know about this, they would be scared to death. It was already very impressive for an inscription master to be able to refine the highest grade or peerless grade of their own grade. It was too difficult to refine a spirit weapon that was 1 grade higher. Ordinary true inscription blacksmiths could not do it at all. Furthermore, the higher the grade of the spirit weapon, the harder it was to forge. Currently, only one of Lu Ming's level 6 blue spirit lamps had been lit up. If he lit up a few more, it was not impossible for him to refine a level 7 premium or even a level 7 supreme grade. In the dark, wisps of the power of inscription descended and Lu Ming's mental energy fire continued to grow. Suddenly, the second lamp of mind lit up, and a blue flame started to burn. Lu Ming lit up the second blue spirit lamp and his mental energy was stronger. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He held the long spear and waved it casually. The space trembled and the faint roar of a dragon could be heard. Thereafter Lu Ming kept his infinite dragon spear. The path understanding ancient tree has changed. Suddenly Lu Ming moved and appeared on another platform. The path understanding ancient tree was placed there. At this moment the path understanding ancient tree was sparkling. It was surrounded by rings of light, and a mysterious aura floated out. There was a green leaf on the black branch. It was dark green and crystal clear. There were mysterious patterns on it as if it contained the universe's truth. Next to the dark green leaf, a second tender green leaf appeared. More than 10 days ago, Lu Ming had watered the Mother of Water Spirit Spring on the Shenhuang silicotic soil. As expected, the Mother of Water Spirit Spring was a rare treasure in the world. It successfully made the path understanding ancient tree grow its second leaf. Lu Ming closed his eyes and carefully pondered over it. After a while he opened his eyes, which were filled with surprise. The second leaf of the path understanding ancient tree had indeed increased Lu Ming's speed of comprehension. In the past it was equivalent to 10 times the normal state. Now it was 20 times. Yes, under the path understanding ancient tree, Lu Ming's state of comprehension was 20 times that of normal circumstances. Naturally Lu Ming was overjoyed. In that case his cultivation speed would increase again. The path understanding ancient tree was indeed a rare treasure in the world. In the ancient times only the strongest had it. Immediately, Lu Ming sat cross-legged and quietly comprehended the essence realm of heaven and earth. Soon another 7 days passed. Lu Ming went out to retrieve the demonic beast blood essence that Wang Haoxin had sent over. This time, there were 4 sets of 5th level spiritual ocean tier demonic beast blood essence and 3 sets of 6th level spiritual ocean tier demonic beast blood essence. After refining them, the 9 dragon bloodlines still did not advance. Just like that, Lu Ming refined the blood essence once every 7 days and spent the rest of his time on cultivation. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed since Lu Ming took control of Wang Haoxin. During this period of time, Lu Ming had made great progress in all aspects, especially the heaven and earth mentality, thunder mentality, and earth mentality. They had reached level 2 lower tier and were about to reach that level. At this time, the bloodline of the 9 dragons had finally reached its limit and was about to advance. This was the 4th time Lu Ming was refining the demonic beast blood essence that Wang Haoxin had given him. In the Supreme Shrine. Roar. The bloodline of the 9 dragons roared into the sky. Its body twisted and rolled in the air and its body was covered in light. As the 9 holes bloodline howled, its body began to grow longer and thicker. The scales on its body became more dazzling and crystal clear. A claw extended out from the abdomen of the 9 dragon bloodline. The 5th claw. 5 claws, a true dragon. A moment later, a 1,000-meter-long wriggling true dragon with 5 claws under its belly appeared above Lu Ming's head. There was a golden chakra on the true dragon's body, shining with a dazzling light. The bloodline of the 9 dragons had finally advanced to the divine level and transformed into the body of a true dragon. Afterwards, the bloodline of the 9 dragons roared, and its aura soared into the sky. At this moment, in the depths of 9 dragons, where the 3 dragon veins converged, there was a palace. This palace was suspended in the air. It seemed to be in the depths of the void. It could be seen but it could not be approached. In the deepest part of the palace, there was a figure sitting cross-legged in the void. It was a middle-aged man in his 50s. He wore a black battle robe and had a burly figure. He sat quietly with his eyes closed, but there seemed to be endless majesty exuding from his body. It was as if this man was a peerless overlord, a peerless emperor who could sweep across the universe and control countless creatures. Suddenly he opened his eyes. At this moment the whole world lit up, and the surrounding space was instantly annihilated, as if it couldn't withstand the huge pressure and turned into a dark chaotic space. The bloodline of the 9 dragons has finally appeared? It seems to have evil levered to the god rank. Jianghu, You've put in a lot of effort to isolate the aura of the blood essence of the 9 dragons with a seal. Unfortunately, you've underestimated me. You can't see through my means. Even if there's a seal, I have my own way to detect it. The blood essence of the 9 dragons seems to be in 9 dragons. There's actually a treasure blocking it. The middle-aged man muttered. After a while he frowned. He could sense that the bloodline of the 9 dragons was in 9 dragons, but he could not sense its exact location. Chapter 812. 812 The Top 10 War Beast. Jianghu, you must have found a young heaven's favorite to be your successor, right? Do you want to take revenge on me? How naive. Since you're in 9 dragons, I'll definitely find you. Let's leave this matter to the ancient families. The middle-aged man muttered. Then, his lips moved as if he was speaking. Not long after, 6 middle-aged men entered the place. Each of these 6 middle-aged men had an overbearing aura. It was obvious that they were in high positions and had the aura of an overlord. However, these 6 middle-aged men were very respectful in front of the man in black. Your Majesty, Force Emperor. The 6 middle-aged men bowed in greeting. Obviously, the black-robed middle-aged man was the ruler of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace and one of the overlords of the Eastern Barren Land, Martial Emperor D. The other 6 middle-aged men were the family heads of the 6 ancient families. Your Majesty, Force Emperor, may I know why you've called the 6 of us here? The head of the Dongfang family bowed and asked. During this period of time, pay close attention to the geniuses of 9 dragons, especially those who have awakened the true dragon bloodline. If there are any, bring them here. Martial Emperor De ordered. Yes. The heads of the 6 families bowed and accepted the order. Go. After Martial Emperor De gave the order, he closed his eyes again. The family heads of the 6 ancient families bowed and left. Roar. The bloodline of the 9 dragons roared, and its aura was shocking. Buzz. Lu Ming turned into a ray of light and entered the 9 dragon bloodlines, fusing with them. At this moment, Lu Ming seemed to have transformed into a true dragon with the power to destroy the world. After a while, the 9 dragons' bloodline slowly shrank and turned into Lu Ming's appearance. I wonder if there are any other functions after the 9 dragons' bloodline is upgraded to a divine bloodline? The devouring power should be even stronger, right? Let's find an opportunity to give it a try. Lu Ming thought excitedly and sensed carefully. What? All of a sudden he felt a strange power in his spine and the blood of the 9 dragons. This power gave off a terrifying feeling, and Lu Ming seemed to be able to draw this power out at any time. What kind of power is this? Let's go out and try. Lu Ming left the Supreme Shrine and appeared on a mountain peak thousands of miles away. With a single thought, Lu Ming drew out the power in the 9 dragon bloodline. This power was similar to true essence, but it was completely different. Lu Ming could feel that this energy was much stronger than the essential core. Roar. Once the energy was drawn out, it let out a shocking dragon's roar. Following that, the energy fused into Lu Ming's body. At that moment, Lu Ming's muscles swelled up and scales appeared on his skin. Dragon scales, these are dragon scales. At this moment, Lu Ming felt that his body was filled with endless power. Boom. Lu Ming threw a punch. Wherever his fist passed, the air turned into liquid and then evaporated. The space was folded in front of Lu Ming's fist like a piece of paper. A terrifying fist force burst out. Boom. Boom. Wherever the fist force passed, 7 huge mountains were penetrated and exploded. Many demonic beasts roared crazily and flew far away. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. The power of one punch was so terrifying. This was just a casual punch from Lu Ming. What is this power? He's too strong. While Lu Ming was shocked, he was also excited. Dragon power, the power of a true dragon. Kid, this is the power of a true dragon. On his shoulder, Dandan shouted. Dragon power? Lu Ming was puzzled. Dragon power is a power that can only be mastered by a true dragon. It's extremely powerful and is many times more advanced than true essence. It's a top-tier power. Kid, you can actually master dragon power? Dandan exclaimed. I didn't master it. It's just a power born from my bloodline, Lu Ming said. As he spoke, Lu Ming could feel the dragon energy in his body weakening slowly. Very soon, the dragon energy seemed to have been exhausted, and the dragon scales on Lu Ming's skin had disappeared. Why is there no more? Lu Ming was shocked. It could not have been used up just like that, right? Kid, don't worry. It will recover later. Even if it's just a little bit, you'll still be rich. The power of dragon power is not something Zhen Yuan can compare with. You've seen it just now, Dandan said. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Could this be the benefit of advancing to the divine level with the 9-dragon bloodline? He had actually condensed a surge of dragon power in his blood. After Lu Ming's outburst, his combat strength would increase greatly. This could be Lu Ming's trump card. I remember now. Kid, the bloodline you awakened isn't the bloodline of the 9 dragons, is it? Dandan suddenly shouted, her eyes fixed on Lu Ming. Yes, why? Lu Ming said. Haha, it's really the bloodline of the 9 dragons. How did you awaken it? Did you use the blood essence of the 9 dragons? Dandan asked again. Didn't you already know that? Lu Ming was speechless. Dandan was by his side every day. She had long known his secret. In the past, I only thought that it looked familiar. Now I finally remember. Jiolong, it's that kid Jiolong. It seems that he has already died in battle. Dandan suddenly sighed. That kid Jiolong? Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. However, he was already used to Dandan's bragging tone. He asked curiously, Dandan, do you know Jiolong? Nonsense, of course I know him. I'm the head of the top 10 battle beasts, and that kid 9 dragon is also one of the top 10 battle beasts. It was me who guided him back then that his devouring talent could be displayed to its greatest extent. Didn't you also master it? Dandan put her hands behind her back and said in a mature tone. The 9 dragons are also one of the top 10 war beasts? What are the top 10 war beasts? Lu Ming was extremely curious. He had been hearing Dandan talk about the top 10 beasts every day and he had long wanted to know. Kid, the top 10 battle beasts are existences that have surpassed the divine beast. Each of them is unique and incomparably powerful. With your current cultivation, it's useless for you to know about them. I'll tell you later. Dandan said proudly. Forget it if you don't want to tell me. I'll ask around myself in the future. Lu Ming said. Then he returned to his cave and continued cultivating. After the 9 dragons' bloodline advanced to the divine level, its devouring power had increased dozens of times, and refining blood essence was extremely fast. Under the path understanding ancient tree, Lu Ming's cultivation progressed at a tremendous pace. As for 9 Suns Supreme, he was still under the soul consolidation tree and had not woken up. Time passed by quickly. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Soon, 5 months had passed since Lu Ming arrived at the wild beast forest. In the past 5 months, Lu Ming had been improving rapidly in all aspects. First, he lit up 2 more lamps on the inscription Dao. Just a few days ago, Lu Ming had lit up 4 blue spirit lamps. As for the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps, Lu Ming had successfully cultivated to the 5th step and was moving toward the 6th step. The power of the 5th step, 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps, was definitely comparable to the highest level of demigod-level martial techniques. Chapter 8:13. 8:13 Great improvement in strength. Apart from the 9 dragons' heaven-treading steps, Lu Ming had also successfully integrated the earth concept into the divine dragon's 3 absolutes. This turned the divine dragon's 3 absolutes into a demigod-level martial arts technique that Lu Ming had cultivated to the highest level. In this way, Lu Ming undoubtedly had many more means to deal with his enemies. His heaven and earth essence realm was also progressing at an amazing speed. The wind, fire, and thunder essence realms had all reached the upper tier of level 2. Only the earth essence realm had been stuck at the peak of level 2 lower tier for a few months. It was very difficult to cultivate the intent of earth, and there were many bottlenecks. It was much slower to improve than the 9 common intents. Most importantly, Lu Ming had to multitask. If he only cultivated one kind of earth concept, his speed would definitely be much faster. With the improvement of his intent, his cultivation naturally increased rapidly as well. Currently, Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the peak of the 5th level spiritual ocean realm. Compared to 5 months ago, he had improved by 3 levels. Their overall combat strength was much stronger than it was 5 months ago. The path understanding ancient tree and the massive resources left behind by the 9 Suns Supreme Master were inseparable from his great progress. Lu Ming turned around and looked in the direction of the 9 Suns Cosmos. The 9 Suns Cosmos was still sitting cross-legged under the soul consolidation tree. It had been 5 months and he had not moved. However, the remnant soul of the Nine Suns Supreme Master was much more solid than it was 5 months ago, giving off a heavy feeling. The soul-consolidating fruits on the 2 soul-consolidating fruit trees had long since disappeared. Not only that, but the 2 soul-consolidating fruit trees had also completely withered and turned into dried branches. Lu Ming had a feeling that it would not be long before the Nine Suns Supreme would wake up. Buzz. Lu Ming's figure moved and he left the cave abode. It was time to collect the blood essence once every 7 days. Not long after, he saw a figure standing in the air, facing the wind. It was Wang Haoxian. Seeing Lu Ming, Wang Haoxian waved his hand and threw 7 jade bottles to Lu Ming. Lu Ming took the bottles and threw the 7 empty bottles to Wang Haoxian. What do you want so much demonic beast blood essence for? Your refining pills? Wang Haoxian asked curiously. After 5 months, Wang Haoxian's state of mind had gradually calmed down. It seemed that he had gotten used to coming here every 7 days to hand over 7 portions of blood essence and meet Lu Ming. For the past 5 months, Lu Ming had only asked her to hunt demonic beasts and obtain their blood essence. He had not asked her to do anything else. How about a battle with me? Lu Ming suddenly spoke. After 5 months of hard work, Lu Ming wanted to test the results of his cultivation. Wang Haoxian was undoubtedly the most suitable candidate. You want to fight me? When I attack, I won't show any mercy. When I beat you up until you lose an arm or a leg, don't use the soul-splitting array to threaten me. Wang Haoxian's eyes flashed. Don't worry. As long as you have the ability, I won't use the soul-splitting array to threaten you even if you cripple me. Lu Ming smiled faintly. All right, you asked for this. Wang Haoxian's eyes turned cold. His body was covered in blazing flames. He took a big step forward and punched. The scorching fist ray blasted toward Lu Ming. The infinite dragon spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands. He waved it casually and the fist radiance was destroyed. No need to probe, use your full strength. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Wang Haoxian frowned slightly. Her punch just now had 80% of her strength 5 months ago. If it were 5 months ago, Lu Ming would definitely have been sent flying. But now, Lu Ming had easily destroyed her fist radiance. It seemed that Lu Ming had made great progress in the past 5 months. Boom. The next moment, Wang Haoxian's aura exploded. In an instant, it reached the aura of the peak 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm. However, this wasn't the limit and continued to rise. Lu Ming's lips curled into a satisfied smile. Chapter 814. 814 2 Rays of Dragon Power. In the past 5 months, Lu Ming had devoured more than 150 portions of demonic beasts, blood essence that were at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm and above. It was naturally impossible for his bloodline to not improve. The prison-suppressing steel bloodline and the 9 dragons bloodline had both advanced by 1 level, reaching the 2nd level of the divine level. When the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline reached level 2 of the divine level, the prison-suppressing heavenly technique's power increased again, reaching the power of an upper-grade demigod martial technique. However, it should be equivalent to the first stage of an upper-grade demigod martial technique. Even so, its power was still several times stronger than the highest level of a low-grade demigod martial technique. A high-grade demigod martial technique was usually only mastered by a spirit embryo realm expert. Only then could it unleash its full power, and its might was terrifying. When his 9-dragon bloodline advanced to the 2nd level of the divine level, Lu Ming realized that there was an additional dragon energy. There were 2 dragon energies in his bloodline. This made Lu Ming look forward to the upgrade of his blood meridian even more. However, when it came to divine bloodlines, it was even more difficult to upgrade one's bloodline. However, the 3rd bloodline had yet to awaken. It was as if it was still brewing and accumulating. This made Lu Ming feel rather helpless. He could only wait. Let's go. Follow me to hunt demonic beasts. Lu Ming instructed Wang Haoxian. In the past 5 months, Lu Ming had not engaged in any major battles. He had spent most of his time cultivating. It was not possible to just cultivate blindly. There must be a great battle. Only by combining the 2 could one cultivate the path of martial arts. Lu Ming planned to kill the demonic beasts in the Wild Beast Mountain range while collecting blood essence. Once the 9 Suns Supreme woke up, he would head to the Sea Cloud sect. He had agreed to meet Xian Yinqing and Kong Jin at the Sea Cloud sect half a year later. Wang Haoxin bit his lips and followed behind Lu Ming. He did not know what she was thinking. Lu Ming could not be bothered. She and Wang Haoxin went deep into the wild beast forest in search of high-level demonic beasts. Lu Ming could not be bothered to hunt demonic beasts at the 5th and 6th level of the spiritual ocean realm. Their blood essence was too poor for him. He had to at least hunt demonic beasts at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean tier and above. Very quickly, the two of them had traveled a distance of 100,000 miles. Roar! A giant black bear 10 meters tall with blood-red eyes, exuded a terrifying and powerful aura. This was a demonic beast at the peak of the 7th level spiritual ocean realm. It charged at Lu Ming fearlessly. A spear light condensed in his hand. With a wave of his hand, the spear light pierced through the void and pierced through the giant bear's head. Lu Ming could casually kill an ordinary cultivator at the peak 7th level of the spiritual ocean realm. The devouring power burst out from his palm, devouring the giant bear's blood essence and refining it. The refining power of the 2nd level divine level 9 dragon bloodline was extremely terrifying. In just a few minutes, the giant bear's blood essence was completely refined. The two of them continued to venture deeper. Not long after, a demonic beast at the 8th level of the spiritual ocean tier appeared, but it was still easily killed by Lu Ming. As the two of them advanced, the number of demonic beasts at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean realm and above that had died at Lu Ming's hands reached 10. Lu Ming used it to upgrade the prison-suppressing steel's bloodline, but it was like a stone sinking into the sea. It did not cause any waves. Boom. Boom. Suddenly there was a loud noise in front of them. Sword Chi soared into the sky, and there were roars of demonic beasts. There were people fighting with demonic beasts. In the Wild Beast Mountain range, there were often people who entered to hunt demonic beasts, obtain materials, and also look for some spiritual herbs. Lu Ming was not bothered. He bypassed that place and continued to move forward. Before long they had traveled another 10,000 miles. That seems to be a blood flower. Suddenly, a few spiritual flowers appeared in front of him. The spiritual flower was dark red in color, and it gave off a strong medicinal fragrance. The blood flower was an upper-level 6 spiritual medicine. Although Lu Ming did not think much of it, he would not miss it since he had seen it. Just as Lu Ming was about to walk over, there was a buzzing sound in the sky. A group of dark red flying insects flew toward Lu Ming and the rest. There were at least 10,000 of these dark red insects. A bloodstained bug that's equivalent to a peak-tier king. Lu Ming had an idea and recognized this type of flying insect. Oh! Lu Ming did not make a move, but Wang Haoxin did. With a wave of her hand, purple flames filled the air and enveloped the sky. The next moment, tens of thousands of blood bugs were burned to ashes. Lu Ming smiled and stepped forward. Suddenly dash. Buzz. Buzz. The sound of air being torn could be heard as 7 to 8 figures flew over at an extreme speed. Little fellow, those blood-stained flowers are ours. An old voice rang out. 8 figures appeared and stood above Lu Ming and the others. A vast aura filled the air. These 8 people were no doubt experts. 5 were at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and 3 were at the 8th level. No wonder they dared to venture so deep into the wild beast forest. Among the 8 people there were white-haired old men and middle-aged men. Get lost. Lu Ming said in a cold voice. Little Z, what did you say? Don't you know how to respect your elders at such a young age? It seems that I have to teach you a good lesson on behalf of your elders. A short and chubby old man looked furious and glared at Lu Ming with an unfriendly gaze. A tremendous aura, the aura of the peak 7th level spiritual ocean realm, filled the air and pressed down on Lu Ming. If you still don't get lost, kill him. Lu Ming did not even look at the short and fat old man. He walked towards the blood-stained flower. He was talking to Wang Haoxin. You're looking for death. The short and fat old man roared in anger. A saber appeared in his hand. In a flash he slashed at Lu Ming. However, the next moment, a figure appeared in front of the old man. A scorching aura filled the air as he threw a punch. Bang! The short and fat old man was like a firework, instantly turning into a flame and exploding, not even leaving a residue. Sky-burning flames, the Wang family's sky-burning flames. She's so young and yet so powerful. Could she be the Wang clan's god-tier prodigy Wang Haoxin? It should be her. The other 7 people exclaimed. They came from a big force in 9 dragons, but that force was much weaker than the Wang family. Get lost or die. Wang Haoxin shouted coldly. The eyes of the 7 people flashed with deep fear. Although their cultivation was high, they still felt deep respect for such a god-tier heaven's favorite. The battle prowess of a god-tier heaven's favorite was too strong. It couldn't be measured by cultivation. But what shocked them the most was that Wang Haoxin seemed to listen to the young man. Just now the young man had given Wang Haoxin an order. Who was that young man? It was unbelievable that he could command a god-level talent like Wang Haoxin. They looked at Lu Ming with a look of awe. Haha, it was a misunderstanding. Let's go, we'll leave immediately. The other 7 people laughed and flew forward at top speed, deep into the wild beast forest. Lu Ming could not be bothered and picked the blood-stained flower. After that, he continued to search for demonic beasts to kill. In the blink of an eye, half a day had passed. Roar. Suddenly, the earth-shaking roars of a few demonic beasts came from the front. Then Lu Ming and the rest saw 2 figures flying wildly outside with frightened faces. These 2 people were 2 of the group who had wanted to snatch the blood-stained flower. Chapter 8:15. 8:15 Overpowering a peak 9th level spiritual ocean tier demonic beast. They were 2 old men, and they were covered in blood as they fled in fear. Behind them there were a few huge demonic beasts that were chasing them. The auras on those demonic beasts were extremely terrifying. They were demonic beasts at the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm. At this moment the 2 elders also saw Lu Ming and his partner. Their eyes lit up and they rushed toward them at top speed shouting, "Help! Help!" Lu Ming furrowed his brows. These 2 old fellows were obviously trying to shift the blame to them. Lu Ming would not let them have their way. Retreat. Lu Ming whispered and retreated with Wang Haoxin. Save us. The 2 elders chased after Lu Ming and the other man while the few powerful demonic beasts behind them continued to pursue them. You 2, you can't just leave me in the lurch. The 2 old men called out. What did you take from those demonic beasts? Otherwise, why would they chase after you? Lu Ming snorted coldly. The 2 old men's expressions changed and one of them said, We didn't take anything. We just went deep in and encountered these demonic beasts. They were crazily chasing us. Our other companions were all killed by them, and we are the only 2 left. The 2 old men said as they flew towards them. Hand over your storage rings and I'll save you. Lu Ming sneered. These 2 old men must have taken something from those demonic beasts. Otherwise, why would those demonic beasts keep chasing them? You're robbing me. The 2 old men said. If you don't give it to me, then get lost. If you continue to pester me, I'll make a move. Lu Ming said. A cold glint flashed in the eyes of the 2 elders. They did not say a word and continued to pester Lu Ming and the rest as they flew toward them. Since Lu Ming and the rest did not take action, he would implicate them. Roar. A giant black wolf roared and charged at them at the fastest speed. This giant wolf had combat strength at the peak of the 9th level of the spiritual ocean realm. With a swipe of its claw, it enveloped the elder, Lu Ming, and the others. The 2 old men cried out in alarm and ran for their lives. Boom. Wang Haoxin took a step forward and threw out a fiery fist radiance, which collided with the wolf's claw. The giant wolf roared and a large part of its claw was burnt. However, Wang Haoxin was also forced to retreat. The giant wolf's eyes were blood-red as it howled madly and pounced on the 2 old men without a care for its life. Since you want to die, I'll grant you your wish. At this moment, Lu Ming's gaze turned cold. The infinite dragon spear appeared and swept out. The spear's radiance expanded and formed a huge spear pillar that swept toward the 2 elders. I can't. The 2 elders were shocked and tried their best to block it. However, how could they block Lu Ming's attack with their cultivation at the 8th level of the spiritual ocean tier? They were hit by the spear radiance and spat out mouthfuls of blood as their bodies flew towards the huge wolf demonic beast. Oh! The giant wolf demonic beast let out a long howl and slashed out its claw. Under the despairing eyes of the 2 elders, it tore them apart. Then the giant wolf opened its mouth and swallowed the 2 elders' storage rings. It glanced at the 2 of them and actually turned to leave. You want to leave? Stay. Lu Ming would not let them leave. He strode forward and took a few steps. Boom. Boom. With 5 steps, the power of the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps exploded. The giant wolf demonic beast wailed as its huge body was stomped down, crashing into the ground below and creating a deep pit that was thousands of meters wide. Roar! At this moment, the other two demonic beasts also pounced over. These two demonic beasts, a giant tiger and a giant snake, both had peak 9th level spiritual ocean tier combat strength. With a shake of the long spear, 2 spear lights shot out. 2 wounds were left on the bodies of the 2 demonic beasts, causing blood to flow out. Roar! The fresh blood made the 2 demonic beasts pounce on Lu Ming even more frantically. The giant wolf struggled to its feet and stomped on the ground. The earth rumbled and gravel flew everywhere. The giant wolf soared into the sky and charged at Lu Ming. You don't need to do anything, I'll do it. On the side, Wang Haoxin was about to make a move but was stopped by Lu Ming. Coincidentally, there were a few opponents that Lu Ming could use as practice. The long spear trembled and was swung out. The spear light swept across the void, constantly sweeping and stabbing at the 3 demonic beasts. The 3 demonic beasts' roars were like thunder, shaking the heavens and earth. 3 attacks, fire, ice, and lightning burst out from their bodies and headed towards Lu Ming. The giant tiger, giant wolf, and giant snake had claws as sharp as knives and bodies as hard as steel whips. They carried a terrifying attack power that could tear the body apart if hit. Lu Ming used the 3 absolutes of the Divine Dragon and the 9 Dragons' heaven-stomping steps from time to time to battle 3 peak 9th level spiritual ocean tier demonic beasts. He even had the upper hand. Wang Haoxin was shocked. Lu Ming had clearly not unleashed his full power yet. He had not used his bloodline martial arts technique, and he had also fused with a divine bloodline. Yet he was able to suppress 3 peak 9th level spiritual ocean tier demonic beasts, while Lu Ming was only at the peak 5th level spiritual ocean tier. If it were her, she would only be able to suppress one of the demonic beasts if she fused with a divine level bloodline. At most, she would be able to fight to a draw with 3 demonic beasts. Gah! Just as Wang Haoxin was lost in his thoughts, a shrill scream rang out in the sky. Esilavira light flashed and appeared in front of Wang Haoxin in the next moment. Like the most terrifying heavenly blade, it slashed towards Wang Haoxin's head. Wang Haoxin's pupils shrank sharply, and his body was covered in flames. He threw a punch and a scorching fist radiance was thrown out. Bang! The Esilavira light and the fist radiance collided. In an instant, the fist radiance dissipated, and the Esilavira light came again. Wang Haoxin retreated quickly and threw 2 punches at the same time. The 2 fist auras were dispersed again, but they were blocked for a while. Wang Haoxin had time to prepare. His divine bloodline appeared. Wang Haoxin merged with the bloodline and turned into a purple firebird, pouncing forward. Bang! The purple firebird and the Esilavira light collided. With a loud boom, the purple firebird flew back, and the Esilavira light also stopped. It was a giant Silavira bird with a wingspan of 50 meters. Its entire body was Esilavira, as if it was cast from Esilavira. Silavira ROC. Wang Haoxin's pupils shrank. The Esilavira ROC had the bloodline of the divine beast, the golden-winged ROC. It was a descendant and was extremely powerful. Ordinary demonic beasts couldn't compare to it. Ordinary demonic beasts were like ordinary human martial artists, while demonic beasts that possessed the bloodline of divine beasts were like the prodigies of the human race. They had powerful combat strength and could fight across levels. Moreover, the higher the concentration of the divine beast bloodline, the stronger the talent and power. This Esilavira ROC was also at the peak 9th level spiritual ocean realm. Gah! The Esilavira ROC let out a shrill cry and pounced at Wang Haoxin again. Wang Haoxin had no choice but to flap his wings to face the attack. However, the Esilavira ROC was much more powerful than the other 3 demonic beasts combined. After a few clashes, Wang Haoxin dispersed the flames and returned to his human form, spitting out blood. Buzz! The Esilavira ROC turned into a flash of Esilavira lightning. Its wings were like heavenly blades, and it slashed toward Wang Haoxin. Wang Haoxin's eyes were filled with despair. She had nowhere to run. Clang! The next moment, a figure appeared in front of her and struck out a palm, sending the Esilavira ROC flying. Wang Haoxin widened his eyes in shock. Chapter 816. 816 Soul Gathering Stone. The person who appeared in front of Wang Haoxin was naturally Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming's figure was much bigger and stronger than usual. His skin was covered with dense scales and his aura was extremely violent. Wang Haoxin looked in the other direction and realized that the three demonic beasts had all been killed by Lu Ming. Gah! The Asilavira ROC let out a loud cry and pounced toward Lu Ming. Kill? Lu Ming took a step forward and threw a punch, which collided with the Asilavira ROC's wings. Kacha! The Asilavira ROC's huge body was sent flying and it wailed in pain. One of its wings was deformed and its bone armor had been broken by Lu Ming. The Asilavira ROC's blood-red eyes actually revealed a look of fear. It flapped its wings and turned to leave. You still want to run? Lu Ming took a step forward and caught up to the Asilavira ROC. The violent force of the kick landed on the back of the Asilavira ROC. The Asilavira ROC wailed in pain and was sent flying to the ground. A long spear appeared in Lu Ming's hand and he thrust it out, piercing through the Asilavira ROC's heart and killing it. Wang Haoxin was shocked. The Asilavira ROC, a descendant of the golden-winged giant roc, was killed by Lu Ming with a crushing force. This Asilavira ROC had almost killed her just now. Lu Ming's combat strength was too terrifying. In that case, it would not be too difficult for Lu Ming to kill her now. Also, what kind of secret technique was that? It was so terrifying. His body was covered in scales like a demonic beast, and his aura was violent and terrifying. She felt extremely complicated. In her eyes, Lu Ming was becoming more and more mysterious and unfathomable. Lu Ming flew down and secretly devoured the Asilavira ROC's blood essence. It's indeed powerful to release a burst of dragon power. Lu Ming thought to himself. Just now he had used a burst of dragon power. After that, he used the prison-suppressing heaven technique, which was so powerful that he killed 3 demonic beasts, blocked the Asilavira ROC's attack on Wang Haoxin and killed it. I wonder how powerful it would be if 2 dragon powers were to burst out at the same time? Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. When the 9-dragon bloodline was raised to the 2nd level of the divine level, there would be 2 dragon powers. Let's go. Let's leave this place. Lu Ming said. You don't want these demonic beast corpses? Wang Haoxin asked. There were a total of 4 9th-level spiritual ocean tier demonic beast corpses, especially the Asilavira ROC. The materials from its body were extremely valuable. If you want it, you can take it. Lu Ming waved his hands. With the wealth left behind by the 9 Sun Supreme Master, he didn't care about these demonic beasts at all. The spirit stones he exchanged for them wouldn't even be enough for him to swallow in a few bites. With that, Lu Ming stepped forward. Wang Haoxin looked at Lu Ming a few more times. After making sure that Lu Ming really did not want the bodies, she put the 4 corpses away. On a mountain peak tens of thousands of miles away, Lu Ming sat cross-legged, refining his blood essence. Wang Haoxin stood by Lu Ming's side, protecting him. The blood essence of the 4 demonic beasts at the 9th level of the spiritual ocean tier was extremely dense. However, with the refining power of the 9-dragon bloodline, it didn't take long for it to be completely refined. All the power of the blood essence flowed into the prison-suppressing steel bloodline, but the bloodline did not improve. It was still at level 2 of the divine level. What did those guys steal from those demonic beasts? And those demonic beasts were a little different from the other demonic beasts. Lu Ming muttered to himself. The demonic beasts in the wild beast forest were all affected by the killing intent here. They were all extremely violent and fearless. They had lost their intelligence and would not show any signs of fear. However, those demonic beasts showed fear after being injured by Lu Ming. The Asilavira ROC's fear was even more intense. It even turned around and ran away. It was very different from the other demonic beasts, which made Lu Ming feel a little strange. Could it be because of the high level? Lu Ming shook his head. He decided not to bother about it for now. He wanted to see what the 2 elders had taken from the demonic beasts that caused the demonic beasts to chase after them. Lu Ming rummaged through the 2 storage rings. They were all spiritual crystals, a few rough stones, pills and secret manuals. Lu Ming did not think much of them. In the end, Lu Ming found a metal box. The box was not big, but it was placed in a very important place. Lu Ming took it out and opened it to find a red stone inside. The stone was the size of a fist. Once the metal box was opened, a wondrous aura emanated from the stone. Lu Ming immediately felt his mind clear and he was in high spirits. Could it be the soul-gathering stone? Lu Ming's eyes suddenly bloomed with a bright light. The soul-gathering stone was a rare treasure that had a magical effect on the soul. Legend had it that when a person had just died and their soul had yet to disperse, if a soul-gathering stone was used to gather it, there would be a miraculous way to bring them back to life. Of course, there were some exaggerations in the legends, but it was definitely useful to the soul. Those guys must have taken this soul-gathering stone from the demonic beast. Lu Ming's heart stirred. Those demonic beasts must have regained some of their intelligence because of the soul-gathering stone. That was why they knew fear. That was why they had been chasing after the two old men to get the soul-gathering stone back. This soul congregation stone will definitely be of great use to Senior Jianghu. At the thought of this, Lu Ming revealed a look of joy. If the soul of the Nine Suns Supreme was strengthened to a certain extent, he might really be able to be resurrected in the future and reappear in the world. Let's go back to the cave. Lu Ming stood up and flew back to the cave abode with Wang Haoxian. A few thousand miles away from the cave. I have at most a month before I leave the wild beast forest. During this time, you don't have to hunt demonic beasts. Cultivate on your own. I will send you a voice transmission when I am about to leave. Lu Ming instructed Wang Haoxian and flew to the cave abode alone. Soon he returned to the cave abode. The Nine Suns cosmos was still sitting cross-legged, but the soul-consolidating tree had completely shriveled up. There was no energy left. Lu Ming guessed that the Nine Suns cosmos would wake up soon. As expected, 3 days later the Nine Suns Supreme woke up. Senior Jianghu, how's your recovery? Nine Suns stepped forward to pay her respects and asked. My soul power has increased a lot. Finally, I won't fall into a deep sleep so easily. The supreme martial artist of the Nine Suns smiled. That's good. Senior Jianghu, I've obtained a soul-gathering stone. It might be useful to you. Lu Ming took out the soul-gathering stone and held it in his palm. The eyes of the Nine Suns Supreme Master lit up instantly like two small suns. He stretched out his hand and grabbed the soul-gathering stone in his hand. He examined it for a moment and then laughed. It really is the soul-gathering stone. Ah, good. With this soul-gathering stone, my soul power will be greatly restored. Then I can help you. It's good that it's useful to you, Senior. Lu Ming was very happy. Lu Ming, thank you. I'll go back to the Supreme Shrine to refine it now. With that, the Nine Suns Supreme wrapped himself in the soul-gathering stone and turned into a ray of light, rushing into Lu Ming's glabella and disappearing. I'll cultivate for a while more, then I'll go to the Sea Cloud sect and meet up with Little Qing and the others. Lu Ming pondered in his heart. Chapter 817. 817 Not good. Lu Ming continued to cultivate in seclusion. In the blink of an eye, more than 20 days had passed. During this period of time, Lu Ming continued to use the Origin Stone to break through, raising his cultivation to the peak 6th level spiritual ocean realm in one fell swoop. However, the Earthwell was still stuck at the peak of the lower tier of level 2, unable to break into the upper tier of level 2. At this time, there were less than 10 days left until the half-year agreement. Little Qing, Fatty and the others have already come out from the Tianqiong relic. I should also make a move. Lu Ming thought to himself. During this period of time, he had been communicating with Xian Yanqing and the rest through voice transmission. Otherwise, Xian Yanqing would be worried about Lu Ming's safety and would not be able to cultivate in peace. Knowing that they were safe, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin were able to cultivate in Tianqiong relic in peace. At the same time, Lu Ming could cultivate in peace and wait for the Nine Suns Supreme. Lu Ming packed his things and left the cave abode. He quickly flew out of the wild beast forest. Thousands of miles away on a mountain peak, Wang Haoxian was standing against the wind. When she saw Lu Ming, she followed him obediently and flew out. Not long after they were out of the wild beast forest. Suddenly their bodies felt lighter. Their speed increased and they turned into two rainbow lights flying toward the east. Half a day later they were close to the Dragon Vein in the east. Lu Ming brought Wang Haoxian and flew directly to the Sea Cloud sect. Lu Ming, how have you been? When Lu Ming arrived at the Sea Cloud sect, Qiao Xian stepped into the air and said with a smile. Haha Qiao Xian, congratulations on breaking through to the Spirit Ocean and becoming a powerful being of the Spirit Ocean. Lu Ming's gaze swept across Qiao Xian and could tell that she had already broken through to the Spiritual Ocean tier. She was now at the peak of the first level of the Spiritual Ocean tier. I did break through, but you should be even more unfathomable. Qiao Xian smiled and looked at Wang Haoxin, who was behind Lu Ming. Lu Ming, you have such a beautiful woman with you. Be careful, Miss Nianqing will be jealous if she sees you. Don't worry, she's just my servant. Why would Xiaoqing be jealous? Lu Ming said with a smile. Wang Haoxin, who was standing behind Lu Ming, gritted his teeth and felt hatred in his heart. Maidservant. Qiao Xian was taken aback. She turned to Wang Haoxin and said, May I know elder sister's name? Wang Haoxin glanced at Qiao Xian and snorted, but he didn't answer. How could a disciple from a small power like Qiao Xian enter Wang Haoxin's eyes? She is Wang Haoxin. Lu Ming answered on her behalf. So it's Lady Wang. What? Wang Haoxin? Which Wang Haoxin? Qiao Xian started to nod, but she immediately reacted. Her pupils contracted and she looked at Lu Ming in shock, asking a few questions. Isn't it Wang Haoxin from the ancient Wang family? Lu Ming said casually. What? She was a god-level prodigy, Wang Haoxin? She's your maidservant? Qiao Xian's voice trembled as she spoke, her eyes filled with shock. Who would believe that Wang Haoxin, a god-level prodigy, had become Lu Ming's maidservant? Qiao Xian thought she was dreaming. Wang Haoxin gritted his teeth unhappily. She knew that if this matter were to spread, her reputation would be tarnished, but what could she do? She was also helpless. Well, let's not talk about this first. Little Qing and Fatty should be here soon. Lu Ming said casually, his gaze looking into the distance. Qiao Xian kept taking deep breaths to calm herself down. This matter was simply too shocking. Soon, 2 rainbow lights appeared from the horizon. In a few breaths, they arrived in front of the Sea Cloud sect. As the rainbow light dissipated, Xian Yanqing and Kong Jin's figures appeared. Haha, Lu Ming, we meet again. I missed you so much. As soon as Kong Jin appeared, he burst into laughter and pounced on Lu Ming like a bear. However, the next moment he swept his gaze and saw Wang Haoxin standing behind Lu Ming. He felt as if his butt had been pricked by a needle and his body bounced up like a round ball. Wang Haoxin, is that you? What are you doing here? The fatty cried out in disbelief and his aura burst out. The peak of the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm. After not seeing each other for half a year, Fatty's cultivation had reached the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier, only 1 step away from the 6th level. On the other side, Xian Yanqing's cultivation at the peak 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm erupted. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Wang Haoxin. What's wrong? Do you want to fight? Do you think you're my match? Wang Haoxin laughed coldly. A powerful aura burst out and pressed down on Fatty and Xian Yanqing. What are you doing? Retract your aura. Lu Ming cast a glance at Wang Haoxin and snorted. Wang Haoxin snorted and retracted his aura. He stood obediently behind Lu Ming. Fatty and Xian Yanqing were dumbfounded. Don't be nervous, she's my maidservant now. Lu Ming said with a smile. Yeah, a maidservant? Fatty's mouth was as wide as a lamb leg, while Xian Yanqing's eyes were wide open. Previously, Lu Ming and Xian Yanqing did not mention that Wang Haoxin had become his servant through voice transmission. The Jade Talisman could not explain clearly, but he said that he was fine and that they did not have to worry. Therefore, Xian Yanqing and the others were naturally shocked. Lu Ming, what's going on? Xian Yanqing's eyes widened. It's like this. Lu Ming explained how he subdued and toyed with Wang Haoxin, but he skipped the part about the 9 Yang Supreme. He only said that he had accidentally found the Darkeen grass and refined it into Darkeen powder, then controlled Wang Haoxin. It's actually like this? Lu Ming, I really admire you. It's so cool to have such a beautiful woman serving you every day. No, I also want to learn the Tao of Inscription, I also want to learn. The fatty was the first to shout, his 2 little eyes were full of stars. It was as if he could already see countless proud girls surrounding him, serving him, and becoming his maidservants. Fatty, don't talk nonsense. I've been cultivating alone all this time. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat and he quickly explained. Lu Ming, both of you will be in the wild beast forest during this period of time. A cold voice came. Xian Yanqing's eyes swept between Lu Ming and Wang Haoxin with hostility. Little Qing, although we're both in the wild beast forest, we're all cultivating on our own. Lu Ming quickly explained. Young Master Lu Ming, the bed is ready. Do you need me to help you warm it up? At this moment Wang Haoxin spoke. Lu Ming's eyelids twitched. He turned around and glared at Wang Haoxin. Wang Haoxian's lips curled up slightly and he looked smug. Nest, this is revenge, pure revenge. Lu Ming screamed in his heart. As expected, Xian Yinqing gritted his teeth and his eyes widened. With a cold expression, he squeezed out a sentence. Pervert, Lu Ming, you're indeed a perverted man. I'm innocent. Lu Ming was speechless. What did he mean by perverted? When was he lecherous? Wang Haoxian, don't talk nonsense. Lu Ming berated. Wang Haoxian immediately put on an aggrieved expression. He pinched his fingers and lowered his head, pretending to be obedient and not say a word. Chapter 818. 818 Killing their way to the Windsword sect. Lu Ming, you're amazing. You've managed to train that violent woman, Wang Haoxian, to be so obedient. I'm impressed. Fatty had touched a sore spot. Lu Ming. Xian Yinqing shrieked. A powerful aura burst out of his body and the sky demon force field enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming was shocked. He moved his body and penetrated the heavy force field. He appeared beside Xian Yinqing and wrapped his arm around Xian Yinqing's waist. Xian Yinqing's body trembled and the force field disappeared. Silly girl, can't you tell that she did it on purpose? I only have you in my heart. How can Wang Haoxian touch my heart? Lu Ming whispered in Xian Yinqing's ear. This action was really intimate. Xian Yinqing looked around and saw Fatty, Qiao Xian, and Wang Haoxian staring at them with wide eyes. His face turned red and he struggled. Lu Ming, you... Let me go. If you don't believe me, I won't let go. Lu Ming said with a smile. I believe in you. Xian Yinqing admitted defeat. Lu Ming's arm then loosened. Xian Yinqing struggled and flew out, his face red. The weather's pretty good today. Don't you think so, Sister Qiao Xian? Fatty laughed and turned to look elsewhere. Yes, I am. Qiao Xian also turned in another direction. Xian Yinqing's face turned even redder and he glared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming, on the other hand, looked at Xian Yinqing with a smile. After the banter, the few of them started chatting. Xian Yinqing and Kong Jin had some fortuitous encounters in the Sky Dome relic. Their cultivation had reached the peak 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm, and their comprehension of concepts had far surpassed Lu Ming's. However, just like Lu Ming, their third bloodline had not been awakened yet. It seemed to be still accumulating. Now you're no match for me. Lu Ming said with a smile. Don't be so smug. When I awaken my third bloodline, I'll definitely defeat you. Xian Yinqing snorted and pouted. Especially when he looked at Wang Haoxian, his eyes were extremely unfriendly, as if he was still brooding over it. Hey, someone's coming. Lu Ming suddenly looked into the distance. A sword light cut through the void at an extremely fast speed. In the blink of an eye, it had arrived before him. The sword light dissipated and a beautiful woman appeared. Ting Ting. The fatty was overjoyed when he saw the woman and hurriedly went up to her. This young woman was Ruan Ting Ting. Fatty, Lu Ming, Miss Nianqing, I didn't expect you to be here. Ruan Ting Ting was overjoyed to see Lu Ming and the rest. Ting Ting, long time no see. Lu Ming and Xian Yinqing also greeted Ruan Ting Ting. After not seeing each other for half a year, Ruan Ting Ting had already pulled through that period of sadness. There was a heroic spirit on her body, making her look heroic and cool. Ting Ting, aren't you cultivating in Di Tian's royal guards? What are you doing here? Fatty asked. I came here with Big Brother Long Qianli. Recently, the Heavenly Corpse sect and the Heavenly Demon Valley have sent their geniuses to 9 dragons to challenge the geniuses of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. There are geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect blocking the entrance of a holy land on the Dragon Vein in the east. They are very arrogant, so Big Brother Long Qianli wanted to meet them, so I followed them. I'll also go to the Windsword sect to avenge my parents. Ruan Ting Ting explained. The Heavenly Corpse sect and the geniuses of the Heavenly Demon Valley are all here. Lu Ming, Xian Yinqing and the rest were stunned. Yes, I heard that the most powerful group of future geniuses, such as the Heavenly Corpse sect, sent the sovereigns ranked below the 100th on the list of top 1,000 talents. Ruan Ting Ting said. This is normal. Before every battle of Kismet, the Overlord forces will send their geniuses to each other's territory. The purpose is to test the strength of each other's geniuses. In the past, the Empyrean Divine Palace also sent their geniuses to the Heavenly Corpse sect. This time, the Heavenly Corpse sect and the Sky Demon Valley have come together. Said Wang Haoxian. She was a genius of the Wang clan and knew the situation better. Lu Ming nodded. This was understandable. Although the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace and the Heavenly Corpse sect were mortal enemies, they didn't kill the envoys. When the other party's geniuses came, the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace could only send their geniuses to face the enemy. Tingting, let's go to the Wind Sword sect first. After we deal with them, we'll go take a look together. Lu Ming said. He also wanted to see the strength of the Heavenly Corpse sect's paragons. All right. Ruan Tingting nodded. The group of them then headed towards the Wind Sword sect. Lu Ming could tell that Ruan Tingting's cultivation had already reached the 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. It was obvious that Ruan Tingting had been heavily nurtured in the Detian Royal Guards for the past 6 months. In addition to the inheritance of blue gold supremacy, her cultivation had progressed so quickly. Naturally, Lu Ming and the rest were not together to help Ruan Tingting take revenge. Back then, Lu Ming had said that he would let Ruan Tingting take revenge herself. They were going together to prevent any accidents. Soon, the Wind Sword sect's mountain gate came into view. Who's there? This is the Wind Sword sect, stop right there. At the Wind Sword sect's mountain gate, the disciples guarding the mountain shouted. Don't you guys recognize me? Ruan Tingting strode forward with a gloomy expression. Ruan Tingting, you're Ruan Tingting. The expression of the disciples guarding the mountain changed drastically. I won't kill you, go get old man Yef, come out and face your death. Ruan Tingting said. Just you wait. The disciple turned around and ran away. Clang, clang, clang. After a while, urgent bell chimes came from the Wind Sword sect. Then, a large number of figures appeared in the depths of the Wind Sword sect. Yefa Yi Qing and a few elders from the Wind Sword sect. However, they stopped in the depths of the Wind Sword sect and did not walk out. Yefa's eyes swept across them and said, Tingting, what happened back then was our fault. However, because of this, the Wind Sword sect's patriarch died in battle. A few other experts also died. Qing Er's cultivation was also crippled. Can we just let this matter end? Shut up. Don't call my name. End it? Sure, but I'll end it after I cut off your head. Ruan Tingting said coldly, her killing intent extremely thick. During this period of time, she had been cultivating with all her might, hoping that one day she would be able to charge into the Wind Sword sect and avenge her parents. How could this matter be easily wrestle-levered? Yefa's eyes were cold, but he didn't say anything. Since you're not coming out, I'll kill my way in. As soon as Ruan Tingting finished speaking, the sound of a sword rang out. A blue sword chi soared into the sky. As the sword chi crisscrossed, Ruan Tingting strode forward. 3rd level of the spiritual ocean tier. Yefa and the others' expressions changed. They were in disbelief. Lu Ming's eyes swept across the surroundings and a cold smile appeared on his face. Let's go in and take a look. Then they followed Ruan Tingting and stepped out. Seeing that Lu Ming and the rest had entered the Wind Sword sect's territory, Yefa's eyes turned cold. His killing intent flashed as he shouted, Great formation, rise! Then, dense runes appeared all over the mountains and plains of the Wind Sword sect. Streaks of sword chi condensed in the air, and a powerful pressure permeated the air. This was a killing formation, a level 6 killing formation, and it was extremely powerful. Back then, Lu Ming and the others had caused a huge commotion in the 100 Venerates Mountain. In the end, Ruan Tingting had been taken away by the Ditian Imperial Guards. Naturally, Yefa had heard about it. Chapter 819. 819. What a trashy formation. Although they didn't know the exact process of that incident, they heard that Ruan Tingting had a great opportunity. During this period of time, Yefa was filled with worry and anticipation. He hoped that Ruan Tingting would be killed in the brutal competition. At the same time, he was also making preparations. He had paid a huge price to hire a 6th-ranked true inscription alchemist to inscribe an extremely powerful killing formation in the Wind Sword sect. As long as Ruan Tingting and Lu Ming stepped into the Wind Sword sect, he would activate the killing formation and kill them. Little bitch, I've already given you a chance but you didn't cherish it. Even a 6th-level spiritual ocean tier martial artist will die if he steps into this array. Now let's see how you're going to kill me. Yefa's face was extremely gloomy as he spoke coldly. Ruan Tingting's brows twitched as she cursed in her heart. She had been too careless. Sect leader Yi, you think you can kill us with this formation? You're too naive. At this moment Lu Ming chuckled. Humph, it's more than enough to kill you, Yefe said coldly. However, his eyes flashed with a serious look. In reality, the one he feared the most was not Ruan Tingting but Lu Ming and the rest. In his eyes, Lu Ming and the rest were unfathomable. More than half a year ago in that competition, the Wind Sword sect had been completely defeated by Lu Ming and the rest. He had built this large array mainly to deal with Lu Ming and the rest. You think too highly of your array. To be honest, I don't know what kind of inscriber you've hired. They're complete trash. You want to trap us with a trash array? You're too naive. Lu Ming smiled and stepped forward. With every step that Lu Ming took, a circle of dense inscriptions would appear on the ground. These inscriptions seemed to be alive and were actually moving on the ground. Yefei's expression changed drastically and he shouted, "You're also an inscription master? Take control of the formation and kill them." The formation around them shook. In the sky, endless sword chi gathered, exuding a terrifying power as it shot toward Lu Ming and the others. Xian Yinqing, Fatty, Ruan Tingting, and even Wang Haoxin didn't move at all, as if they didn't see the sword chi. They had all seen how strong Lu Mingming's refinement path was. However, Lu Ming still had a smile on his face. He took a step forward and said softly, "Break." As soon as he finished speaking, the sword chi that was stabbing at them from all directions collapsed. Puchi. The inscriptions around the Wind Sword sect were like fire falling into ice. With a sizzling sound, they disappeared without a trace. As Lu Ming finished speaking, the large array was broken. Yefe Yiqing and some of the Wind Sword sect elders' faces paled. They turned pale and bloodless. Yefe had paid a huge price to hire a 6th-rank true inscription alchemist and spend half a month to perfect the formation that could kill a 6th-level spiritual ocean tier expert. To think that it was broken by Lu Ming while he was talking and laughing. This was too shocking. Could it be that not only was Lu Ming's martial arts cultivation so powerful, but his Tao of inscription was also so terrifying that all his plans were useless in an instant? They felt a chill in their hearts and were in despair. Ruan Tingting, didn't you want to take revenge? If you want to take revenge, then do it yourself. Why did you call for help? Since that's the case, I admit defeat today. If you want to kill me, then kill me. Yefe called out to Ruan Tingting. Yefe, you don't have to use such a low-level method to provoke me. If it was a direct battle, I wouldn't interfere. But if you use such a method, I will definitely interfere. Lu Ming smiled. You won't interfere? You said it, don't go back on your word. Yefe shouted. Naturally I won't. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Ruan Tingting, what about you? Yefe was still worried and looked at Ruan Tingting. I will kill you all with my own hands. Ruan Tingting's answer was very obvious. Alright, since that's the case, let's attack and kill this little bitch. Yefe gritted his teeth and said in a dark voice. Suddenly 2 old men rushed out from behind Yefe, and their powerful auras filled the air. 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier. Xiao Xian exclaimed. These 2 old men were actually at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier. The Wind Sword sect definitely did not have such powerful experts. Yefe must have paid a huge price to invite them. What Yefe said just now was to get Lu Ming and the rest to not make a move. Then he would let 2 experts at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier kill Ruan Tingting. His intentions were vicious. Lu Ming, Tingting she. Xiao Xian looked at Lu Ming worriedly. No problem, Tingting should be able to handle it. Lu Ming said. He had long noticed that there were 2 experts at the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier behind Yefe, but he trusted Ruan Tingting. Ruan Tingting had received Supremacy Lan Jin's inheritance, which was a god-grade cultivation technique. In addition, Ruan Tingting's talent was unparalleled. In the past, it was only buried in the Wind Sword sect. Otherwise, she would not have received Supremacy Lan Jin's inheritance. With a divine-grade cultivation technique as a foundation, it wouldn't be a big problem for him to cross 2 levels and deal with 2 ordinary 5th-level spiritual ocean tier cultivators after cultivating in the Emperor Heaven Royal Guards for so long. Buzz. The sword radiance whistled, and the blue sword chi soared into the sky as if it could tear everything apart. Sword concept. Lu Ming's lips curled into a smile. Ruan Tingting had evil levered the mentality of sword from the mentality of metal. Kill? Ruan Tingting shouted and stepped forward. Her sword chi whistled as she charged towards the 2 elders. The two old men used all their strength, but after a few moves they began to be at a disadvantage. Ruan Tingting's blue sword light was condensed from a god-tier cultivation technique, and with the sword intent, it was simply invincible. Whoosh! Whoosh! The sword chi tore through the two old men's attack and defense. Spare me. The two old men wanted to beg for mercy, but the sword chi pierced through the void and pierced through their throats. The two old men were dead. How did this happen? Efa Yiqing and the others turned pale and despaired. Ruan Tingting's eyes were filled with killing intent as she stepped forward. Her sword chi shot into the sky as she walked towards Efa. Tingting, please spare us. I treated you well back then. Efa screamed and began to beg for mercy. You're treating me well? Marrying me to the two monsters of Jianghu in exchange for your children's opportunities, is this treating me well? You used my parents to force me and caused them to die in the end. Is this how you treat me? Ruan Tingting sneered. That was just a moment of confusion. Tingting, if you kill me, the Windsword sect will no longer exist. It will fall apart and be erased from the world. Efa did not give up and continued to shout. What does the Windsword sect's non-existence have to do with me? Ruan Tingting remained unmoved and strode forward. Her sword chi whistled out and pierced forward. A few Windsword sect elders shouted in anger as they unleashed their full strength in an attempt to block the attack. However, it was all in vain as the sword chi pierced through their foreheads. Run! The other higher-ups of the Subsword sect ran for their lives. However, the sword chi pierced through the air and killed those people one by one. In the end, only Efa and Yiqing were left. The two of them trembled, their faces pale. They were in despair. Back then they had forced Ruan Tingting into a corner, but they never expected this to happen. Buzz! Efa and Yiqing could not resist the sword light at all. The two figures fell to the ground. The upper echelons of the Windsword sect had all been annihilated. Chapter 820. 820 Heavenly Corpse Sex Paragon. Father, Mother, Tingting has avenged you. Ruan Tingting held the sword in her hand and whispered. Tingting, let's go. The Windsword sect's upper echelons have been completely annihilated. It will soon be swallowed up by other forces. From then on, the Windsword sect will no longer exist. Fatty walked up and patted Ruan Tingting's shoulder. He was afraid that Ruan Tingting would sink into hatred and murder, unable to extricate herself. Taking a deep breath, Ruan Tingting shook her sword and the blood on the blade evaporated. She put away the sword and smiled. Fatty, thank you. He then walked toward Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming, Monsieur, thank you. The reason why she could reach this stage and take revenge was all because of Lu Ming and a few others. Back then, when she had obtained the legacy and was hunted down by the Wan family and the Jiang family, Lu Ming and the rest had protected her with their lives. Otherwise she would not be where she was today. Since we're friends, there's no need to thank me. Let's go and see the Heavenly Corpse sect's elites. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Under the shocked gazes of many Windsword sect disciples, they left the Windsword sect and flew in the direction of the Dragon Vein. According to Ruan Tingting, at the entrance of a cultivation sacred ground in the Dragon Vein, there were geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect who set up a battle platform to challenge the geniuses of the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace. It had been a few days, and the Emperor Heaven Divine Palace was completely at a disadvantage. That was why Long Qianli had brought his men here, hoping to stabilize the situation. Before the Battle of Providence, the Overlord factions would send their elites. First, it could be used as a form of training and to test the other side's strength. Second, it could also strike a blow to the other side's morale. Together with Ruan Tingting, Lu Ming and the rest flew toward the Dragon Vein. The Wuxiang Valley was a relatively famous cultivation holy land on the Dragon Vein occupied by the Wang family. It was of a higher level than the 100 venerated mountains, and there were more geniuses cultivating here. For example, many quasi-god heavens favorites ranked 300 to 400 would choose to cultivate here. The paragons of the Heavenly Corpse sect pulled up a stone platform from the ground at the entrance of the Wuxiang Valley and used it as a battle platform. The 8 paragons of the Heavenly Corpse sect stood on one side of the fighting ring. They were all wearing black robes and had cold smiles on their faces. Another paragon of the Heavenly Corpse sect stood in the middle of the platform, looking around. There were many figures surrounding the fighting ring. They were all geniuses and geniuses of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. Long Qianli stood at the front. The Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace only has so few geniuses? Those at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier, who else wants to come up for a fight? In the middle of the fighting ring, the paragons of the Heavenly Corpse sect looked around with a smug expression. For a moment, no one dared to go up. Just now, that paragon of the Heavenly Corpse sect had already defeated 3 paragons at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier in a row. He was extremely powerful. Damn it. The Heavenly Corpse sect must have selected the top figures of all levels through a series of selections. Our Empyrean Divine Palace naturally has such figures. It's just that they're not here for a while. That's right, we were just caught off guard by them. The people from the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace were discussing animatedly. They were extremely indignant. The geniuses from the Heavenly Corpse sect were naturally the best of their respective levels. They were invincible among their peers. They had no way of finding so many experts in such a short time. Blood Sword 19, if you have the ability, let's fight. Long Chenli took a step forward and stared at the man in the middle of the 8 Heavenly Corpse sect elites. Blood Sword 19 was a god-grade genius of the Heavenly Corpse sect, ranked 294th, while Long Chenli was ranked 295th. The two of them were equal in rank. Why are you so anxious? Wait a moment, let the others compete first. After that, I will naturally fight you. Blood Sword 19 looked at Long Chenli and sneered. Long Chenli's expression was ugly. In the past few days, the Heavenly Corpse sect had continuously sent out geniuses at the 2nd and 3rd level of the spiritual ocean realm. The Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace had been completely defeated, and they could not afford to lose again. 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm, who is going to fight me? On the stone platform, the disciples of the Heavenly Corpse sect continued to issue challenges. I'll do it. A voice came from the distance, and a ray of light flew over at extreme speed. Boom. Then a figure landed on the stone platform. It's Gai Chong, it's Gai Chong. Gai Chong, 359th on the list of top 1,000 talents, is a potential heaven's favorite. Good, we have hope now. Everyone was excited. Finally, a quasi-heaven's favorite at the 4th level of the spiritual ocean tier arrived. The list of top 1,000 talents hadn't been updated for a long time, and many geniuses had emerged. It was no longer authoritative to use the previous list to determine the combat strength of the current geniuses. Some people rose up, some progressed slowly, and some even rose to the sky and awakened divine bloodlines. Therefore, the strength of the top 1,000 talents on the list was in a mess. However, he could probably use it as a reference. Those who were ranked at the top previously would not be too bad. Gai Chong, I hope you won't disappoint me. The expert from the Sky Corpse sect said. I also hope so. Gai Chong said coldly. Then the two of them started fighting. However, after a dozen or so moves, everyone was shocked to find that Gai Chong was completely suppressed and at a disadvantage. After another dozen or so moves, Gai Chong was sent flying and coughed up large amounts of blood. He was defeated and defeated again. Ah, you really can't take a single blow. Let me tell you, in the 4th level of the spiritual ocean realm, I'm not the strongest. There are still many stronger than me in the Heavenly Corpse sect. The paragon of the Heavenly Corpse sect sneered. What's there to be proud of? Our heaven's favorite is just not here now. At the exchange in half a month's time, let's see how arrogant you can be then. Some people were indignant. Those from the Heavenly Corpse sect coldly laughed. They naturally knew that there were more geniuses in the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. There were many of them who were in closed-door cultivation. But so what? Their goal was to crush the morale of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace. Bus. And NBSP whoosh. At this time, a few more beams of light flew over in the sky, and 6 young figures appeared. As soon as these figures appeared, they immediately attracted the attention of many people. This was because there were 4 young women in this group of 6. Each of them was extremely beautiful, especially Xian Yanqing, who firmly attracted the attention of many people. The 6 people were Lu Ming and the rest. Lu Ming, it's you. Suddenly, a cold shout was heard, and several figures flew out with undisguised killing intent. Chaotic wind cloud. There was a flash of killing intent in Lu Ming's eyes. The one who had spoken was none other than Luan Fengyun. Lu Ming would never forget how Luan Fengyun had injured Xian Yanqing in a sneak attack at the Battle of the 100 Venerates Mountain half a year ago. He did not expect to run into chaotic wind and cloud here again. Lu Ming, you guys have been hiding for half a year. Let's see where you can hide today. Wan Fengyun glared at Lu Ming and the rest with killing intent. His gaze lingered on Ruan Tingting for a moment before he looked at Long Qianli. The only person he was afraid of was Long Qianli, and he was afraid that Long Qianli would interfere. He hid for half a year. Lu Ming pursed his lips. Lu Ming, we meet again. Suddenly, another person was born in the crowd. A figure stepped on the air and ascended. Wang Ju. Lu Ming was slightly stunned. Chapter 821. 821 Chapter 821 Crushing Chaotic Wind and Cloud. He hadn't seen Wang Ju since the Battle of the Heavenly King list. He should have been cultivating in seclusion, but now he had appeared. What's wrong? You've been defeated, and now you're looking for a beating again? Lu Ming smiled faintly. Lu Ming, I lost in the Battle of the Kings, but what's the big deal about losing in the King's realm? The spiritual ocean tier is the realm where geniuses compete. Now, I can defeat you as easily as turning my hand. Wang Ju's body emitted a burning aura. On the other side, the people of the Heavenly Corpse sect watched with great interest. They didn't expect that the people of the Empyrean Heaven Divine Palace would actually have an internal strife. They were naturally happy to see this happen. Long Qianli frowned slightly. He recognized Lu Ming, but he had already helped Lu Ming and his group once. He could not interfere in their personal affairs every time. After all, the other party was from an ancient family. Furthermore, his gaze was on Wang Haoxin, who was standing behind Lu Ming. He was very surprised. Why was Wang Haoxin standing behind Lu Ming? If Wang Haoxin were to make a move, he was not confident. Wang Ju, how about letting me have this person? Wan Fengyun looked at Wang Ju. All right. Wang Ju nodded. It would be best if Wan Fengyun could take care of Lu Ming. Buzz. At this moment, a figure flashed and blocked Lu Ming's path. If you want to touch Lu Ming, you'll have to get past me first. Wang Haoxin said coldly. Wang Haoxin, what are you doing? Wan Fengyun's expression changed drastically. He had seen Wang Haoxin just now. He was puzzled as to why Wang Haoxin was with Lu Ming and the rest. He thought that they were on the same path. If you want to touch Lu Ming, you have to defeat me first. Wang Haoxin continued to speak coldly. This caused Wan Fengyun's expression to turn even uglier. Wang Haoxin was a god-tier genius who had awakened a god-tier bloodline. How could he be a match for him? Wang Haoxin, why are you doing this? Wang Ju said, his eyes filled with shock and bewilderment. He was from the same clan as Wang Haoxin. Wang Haoxin was extremely arrogant, extremely talented, and focused on cultivation. He had never been nice to others, especially men. Other than loving her brother Wang Haoyin, she had almost no friends. Now she was standing in front of Lu Ming and helping him block the strong enemy. This was a little unbelievable. He was not the only one. The others were also in disbelief. Many people who did not know Lu Ming were guessing who he was to be able to make the god-level prodigy Wang Haoxin act this way. I'll let you off today for the sake of Wang Haoxin, said Wan Fengyun coldly. He then turned around to leave. Did I ask you to leave? Even if you didn't look for me, I would have looked for you. Lu Ming's voice was heard. He took a step forward and said, Wang Haoxin, there's no need for you to interfere. I will settle this myself. Wan Fengyun stopped and cast a glance at Wang Haoxin. However, Wang Haoxin took 2 steps back. He seemed to be very obedient to Lu Ming and had no intention of interfering. This made many people feel surprised. Wan Fengyun also frowned and said, Lu Ming, since you're courting death, I'll fulfill your wish. With that, a powerful aura rose from his body. The peak of the 5th level of the spiritual ocean realm. It was clear that Chaotic Wind Cloud had also made great progress in the past 6 months, and had advanced by a level. A large bow appeared in his hand, and the aura around him became sharp. Buzz. He retreated and knocked an arrow on his bow. An arrow pierced through space and shot towards Lu Ming. It was as fast as lightning and as powerful as thunder. Many people were secretly shocked. As expected of a quasi-heaven's favorite on the list of top 1,000 talents, Wan Fengyun's combat strength was extremely powerful. Not many people of the same level could avoid this arrow. Xian Yinqing, Fatty, and the others didn't move at all. They didn't seem worried at all. Lu Ming did not move and allowed the arrows to hit him. It was as if Lu Ming had not reacted at all. Lu Ming was going to die. Many people had this thought. The arrow tore through the air and arrived in front of Lu Ming's glabella in an instant. At this moment Lu Ming finally moved. He stretched out his hand. Not many people could see when he reached out and caught the arrow. The arrow stopped firmly in front of Lu Ming's glabella, less than an inch away from it. Almost everyone widened their eyes in shock. Lu Ming had actually caught the arrow with his bare hands. This wasn't an arrow shot by an ordinary person, but by Luan Fengyun. An arrow shot by Luan Fengyun, who had reached the peak of the 5th level of the spiritual ocean tier, was absolutely terrifying and could kill an ordinary expert at the 7th level of the spiritual ocean tier. However, Lu Ming casually grabbed it in his hand. This kind of visual impact was really too great, making people's minds go into a daze. Luan Fengyun, it's been half a year since we last met, and you haven't improved at all. Lu Ming smiled. He exerted force with his fingers and the arrow in his hand shattered. Luan Fengyun's pupils contracted, and he quickly retreated. At the same time he drew his bow again. Whoosh, whoosh. The 9 arrows were shot in a straight line. The arrows from the back hit the arrows in front, causing the speed of the arrows in front to increase dramatically. The speed of the first arrow was even more terrifying. However, Lu Ming took a step forward and struck out with his palm. The arrow was shattered into pieces. Luan Fengyun's heart was filled with shock, and he frantically retreated. Lu Ming took a few steps forward and appeared in front of Luan Fengyun in an instant. Terrified, Luan Fengyun exploded with all his might. A saber appeared in his hand and he slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming struck out with his palm and the saber shattered. Lu Ming's claws grabbed onto Luan Fengyun's throat. The quintessential essence in Luan Fengyun's body had been completely sealed. He was struggling in Lu Ming's hands. The crowd was shocked beyond words. Luan Fengyun was a quasi-heaven's chosen and was incomparably powerful. However, in Lu Ming's hands he was like a little chick, unable to withstand a single blow. All of Lu Ming's attacks were easily dispersed and nullified. A few people who knew about the battle at the 100 Venerated Mountains were even more shocked. Back then Lu Ming was completely suppressed by Luan Fengyun and was no match for him. However, only half a year had passed and Lu Ming's combat strength had increased to a terrifying level. He could completely suppress Luan Fengyun. It was truly terrifying. Release him. The 2 young men shouted from behind Chaotic Wind Cloud and attacked Lu Ming at the same time. Bang. Lu Ming's kick contained the power of the 9 dragons' heaven-stomping steps. The 2 youths were at the 6th level of the spiritual ocean tier, but they were not prodigies and were far inferior to Lu Ming. They both spat out mouthfuls of blood and retreated. A ray of light appeared on Lu Ming's finger and he slashed it. Poochie. Blood splattered in all directions. One of Luan Fengyun's arms flew out and was cut off by Lu Ming. Luan Fengyun let out a low growl, and his body began to struggle with all his might. Lu Ming swung his arm and threw Luan Fengyun away. This arm will be used to repay you for that sneak attack. If you're not convinced, you can come and fight me again, Lu Ming said coldly. Luan Fengyun bellowed in anger. He circulated his cultivation to stop the bleeding and looked at Lu Ming with some resentment and some shock. On the other side, Wang Ju's pupils contracted sharply, and his heart was in turmoil. Wang Ju's combat strength was strong and his talent was amazing. Otherwise, he would not have been able to enter the Heavenly King ranking. Once he broke through to the Spirit Ocean realm, his cultivation improved by leaps and bounds, and he was now at the peak of the 4th level of the Spirit Ocean realm. He originally thought that it would be enough to crush Lu Ming and take revenge for the day he was ranked on the Heavenly King ranking. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.